As the calendar flips to the July, the Big Train are firmly entrenched in the first place spot as they take on the second place Gaithersburg Giants tonight here on Povich Field. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here with you on Big Train TV, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. We're ready for some baseball here as Dusty Mercer takes the first pitch from starter Luke Baker, who fouls it off, and it's 0-2 quickly here. Luke Baker getting a start today. He's got a couple days of rest. It's a pretty short rest, actually, for him, and it's going to be a bullpen game tonight for the Big Train.
Yeah, a lot of arms ready and waiting in the beehive down left field, but Luke Baker looking to get them off on the right foot there out on the bump.
Killer B swings in a looping fly ball into center field. Coming on as center fielder, he's not going to make the play. Riley Johnson, it falls in front of him, and there goes the no-hitter as Dusty Mercer is quickly aboard.
Yeah, good little piece of hitting there from Mercer in the leadoff spot. You know, this ever-speedy Dominic Ragazzo, who's been in that spot for Gaithersburg the last couple times we've seen him, slides down to the cleanup hole tonight, as you'll see in the Gaithersburg lineup in a little bit. So good piece of hitting there for Mercer to get on base here for the two-hole hitter.
And Luke Baker has actually been hit pretty hard in his last couple of outings, so we'll see how he settles in here. Checks the runner first. First pitch to him is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Baker last pitched a couple of days ago. In fact, it was exactly 5 days ago. They pitched in against the Silver Spring Tacoma T-Bolts at Silver Spring. He gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1, and struck out 3. Here's the 0-1 offering. That one pops in there for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. So he's got an 0-2 to both batters. We saw Dusty Mercer deposit a base hit into center field right in front of Riley Johnson. So we'll see what Tyler Martinez is up to. One of 3 Martinez's in the lineup tonight for the Gaithersburg Giants.
No shortage of Martini.
Here's the 0-2. Bounce right back to Baker, but past his glove. Will take it to second for 1, and that's all they'll get as Gauthier gets the 6U, the rare 6U fielder's choice, and there's 1 down.
Yeah, tough play there for Gauthier. Obviously, good job to get the lead runner. Not really time there with the ball dribbling through the middle infield pretty slowly. And Baker, you know, I think Baker might have tipped his glove on that a little bit, but tough to tell.
Glanced off of Baker's glove, it seemed like, as it changed direction a little bit. Here's how the defense reads for the Big Train. Pepe, Gauthier, Martin, and Thomas in the infield, left to right. Outfield, Foster, Johnson, and Gumph. And behind the plate, Grant Knipp. He's catching Luke Baker. Here's the first pitch as he checks over with that good pickoff move to first, but not going anywhere is Tyler Martinez. Luke Keischel up now, one of the top 5 batting averages in the league. He comes in today at .349. First pitch now to him. Right down the middle, but called a ball, and it's 1-0.
Maybe a little high.
Seemed to look good to me up here, but that's why I'm up in the booth and not down on the field. 1-0 offering now. Keischel strokes one into left field. Going back is Foster, ranges back for it, and makes the play for the second out. Nice easy play there for Darius Foster, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, so contact from all 3 batters so far from Baker. Doesn't really have the swing and miss stuff going tonight yet, but we'll see how that comes into play later in the game. For right now, he's putting it into play for his defense. Nothing too hard hit, nothing really into the gaps yet. So that's kind of the game that Baker has to work tonight. It's just allow his defense to work. Didn't always, end up working out in his last start in Silver Spring Tacoma, as you said.
There goes the runner. Throw down from Knipp is on. The money a little bit wide, though, and Martinez is in there with a stolen base.
Yeah, slightly offline there, a little bit over anxious to get that.
Would love to get the speed on that throw. That one was a seed, but unfortunately to the right of the glove of Austin Gauthier. He's in at short tonight, and Christian Martin in at second base. Luke Baker only slated for 2 innings tonight, then they'll turn it over to the bullpen. This is Grayson Hitt's scheduled day. We'll see if he pitches tomorrow against Silver Spring. That ball's hammered to center field by Ragazzo, but doubling back on it going forward is the center fielder Riley Johnson, and he makes the play. So a pretty painless first inning for Luke Baker. He gets out of it with just 1 hit. Big Train, get it up when we come back here on Big Train TV. Returning to the mound for the Giants for the start tonight is the guy that got the win against the Big Train back in Gaithersburg a couple of weeks ago, Jonathan Martinez. He pitched 1 inning and 2/3 of hitless, scoreless ball. And it was just a phenomenal relief performance. The Big Train had no answer for him, but they'll hope to attack early here with Riley Johnson leading off.
Yeah, absolutely. Martinez has been really stellar for Jesse Frawley and the Gaithersburg Giants coming out of the pen. So interesting to see him getting the ball to start tonight out there on the rubber. We'll see how long Frawley looks to him to continue this start. Again, a bullpen game for the Big Train. We'll see what it turns into for the Giants.
Riley Johnson goes around on a half swing, and it's 0-1. Comes up to Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett. That's been programmed in there by some of our friends, as he has not chosen an at-bat song this year. Here's the 0-1 offering for Martinez, way outside, and it's 1-1. Here's how the defense reads for the Giants. Hyder, Martinez, and Mercer. That's Tyler Martinez in center. In the outfield, Keishel, Regazzo, Ryan Martinez, and Booma. In the infield and then behind the plate, Michael Morale. On the mound, Jonathan Martinez. Here's the 2-1, or the 1-1. Ben's in there for a strike. Great breaking ball from Martinez, and it's 1-2. I'm going to say Martinez tonight more than any other night in my life, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be up there. I mean, not only is he starting, but the other Martinez is playing second. The other Martinez is in center.
So that's tomahawk to second base. Easy play for Martinez. Fires to first in time to get Johnson.
But which Martinez, Tyler?
That is Ryan Martinez at second base. And a groan from the crowd as they look to see if Johnson beat that out, but he did not. And it's a 4-3 put out to lead things off.
Yeah, really good speed there from Riley Johnson. That's what we've seen. An infield kind of dribbler to Ryan Martinez at second. And just a little unfortunate, probably half a step there to the first baseman, Booma.
Booma. So here's Darius Foster, fresh off of his big night the last time they were home. Ben missed that game, but it was a good one. First pitch to him, inside, way inside, goes behind his backside, and it's 1-0.
Whenever you're ready.
Take a look at the Big Train batting order and how it reads, up and down. Johnson, Foster, Thomas, Pepe, Nearide, Nip, Gauthier, Gump, and Martin. Pitch in there to Foster, and it's 2-0. Foster has a knack for getting on base. We know that. He's no shortage of on base this season. And also not slugging very much, just 2 extra base hits on the year. Both of them doubles. 2-0 for Martinez. We'll have a cookie here. Doesn't get one, though, and it's 3-0 outside.
Yeah, but as you said, .468 on base percentage for Darius Foster this year and 81 plate appearances, .364 average. It's climbed a little bit in the last week or so, as you talked about. A big kind of week for him, a decent few plate appearances in relief of previous batter Riley Johnson down in South County, and works the 4-pitch walk here off of Jonathan Martinez.
To absolutely nobody's surprise, Darius Foster is on base with nobody in front of him, and that'll bring up Matt Thomas, who's hit a bit of a slide recently. There's no question about that, and maybe the CRCBL Player of the Week was weighing on him a little bit, but he's getting in here and looking to just pick things up a little bit.
Yeah, and he really started to do that with a great game down in South County the other night. I mean, 4 walks, 2 singles, a couple RBIs in there. Thomas really was just all over the place, on bases all night. That on-base percentage, we talked about it for Foster. Thomas has skyrocketed after last week, up to .549 on the year.
Yeah, and as we enter today, I'm going to get some stats out of the way here. Big Train's magic number is down to 12, and they can make it 10 with a win today over the second-place Giants. I mean, it's almost a formality at this point with the way they're playing this season, but don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But things are getting pretty close to Clinchville.
Yeah,
Clinch Station. As Thomas gets tied into a knot on that swing, and it's 1-1.
Really swinging through that one, as you said. Big Train coming in 9-1 in their last 10, 17-3. Overall, like you said, 5 games ahead of the second-place Giants, who come in 11-7, and also 9-1 here at Povich Field.
Yeah, Clinch Station looking very nice. So there goes Foster. Throw down is bounced. Foster's in there. Gets away from the shortstop or second baseman, Martinez. And Foster is aboard with another stolen base, and he might be challenging for that record. I think it's 26. I don't know how many he has this year, but he's looking to challenge that.
I believe it's 15 for 17 now on the year.
So that is very much in play. That right there is the 26th record for the Big Train. I don't recall who it is.
15 for 17 now.
If we can get that program on our hands, we would love to take a look at that. But we'll get that in just a second. 2-1 here to Matt Thomas from Martinez, who's looking a pressure situation in the face with a runner on second and 1 out.
Yeah, Martinez hasn't really had to face.
Pitched to Thomas, goes by him, swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Martinez, as you said in his last relief appearance, didn't have a lot of these sort of pressure situations. He was really in command for most of that outing. And so we'll see.
Didn't have a chance because there was no one on base the whole time. An inning and 2/3 perfect innings for Jonathan Martinez. You don't see the big train silence like that. Thomas swings and misses strike 3, and there's 2 down. Thomas getting blown away by the fastball from Martinez. And here comes the CRCBL leader in batting average, Rocco Pepe, who stands in today just 12 hit by pitches away from a record he probably doesn't want to claim, but 21 by Jared Parks in 2009 is the big train record. Of course, 12 away, but we've seen him get hit twice in a game before, so you never know. It's a record he probably doesn't want to share or claim.
Some family here in the ballpark. I know his mother is in attendance, part of Family and Friends Day here at Shirley Povich Field, celebrating the family of all the players as Martinez with a...
He wheels around there to try to get it, but his ball gets away. Foster, though, not moving. Sometimes he would. You'd think Foster's moving at the drop of a hat, as he normally is, but not in this situation. Rocco Pepe, once again, batting north of 420 this season, having a phenomenal year. Breaking ball up and in, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, as you said, leading the team with that .429 batting average. RBIs through the roof as well with 22. 27 hits, 26 runs scored.
Just second to
10
Kemp
extra
Alderman.
base hits. Yeah, so Alderman, the number that you see, the 24, is a little bit fudged as Foster goes.
Throw down is in time, and he is out at third, and that'll retire the side. So no chance to hit for Pepe here, as Foster is retired at third base. Big Train still tied 0-0 as we head to the top of the second here on Big Train TV. Michael Morale to lead things off for
Just
the Giants.
gunned down Darius Foster.
Yeah. How about that? You get it caught stealing, and then you go out there and try to pitch or try to hit. Facing Luke Baker, which should be his final inning of work tonight. Only slated for 2. Here's the first pitch. Good pitch from Baker, but it's not in there. And it's 1-0. Swing and a miss there from Morale. Big cut on the fastball from Luke Baker, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, there's the swing and miss stuff getting going for Baker. Transfer to Jacksonville.
Big swing and a miss. Looks silly on that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, really great mix of speeds right there. I mean, that's just exactly what you want to see from Baker. Just trying to settle in here for his second inning of work.
Reputation as one of the fastest workers on this staff. No one is faster than Cooper Ronzo, as we'll say that every time. Baker moving quickly, ready to throw. 2-2, close.
Just a bit high there. That was a great pitch. A little bit off speed. I think that was either a changeup or perhaps a little bit of a late slider, but still great pitch there on the 1-2. Now 2-2.
Now the 2-2. Breaking ball bends low, and it's 3-2. Full count now to Michael Morale. Michael Morale setting in today. Has a couple of hits to his name this season, as most people do. That's stroked into right field. Coming on as a right fielder. It's going to fall in front of him. And he is safe at first. A Texas leaguer base hit there for Michael Morale to lead things off here. And it's another leadoff base runner for the big train to deal with.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird hit there for Morale. Thought that one was going to maybe go foul. Gump coming in from right field. Had a pretty good angle on it, but just couldn't get. I mean, that thing came a little high off the bat and then just died in pretty shallow right field. And like we said, Gump could not get to that one.
So Michael Buma is up now, the first baseman. Buma is the Yasmani Grandal of this league. He's batting 167 as an on-base percentage of 500 coming into today. So interesting mark for him. He went to high school with our own Bryn Smith. She tells us every time the Giants come to town. So finally he's in for us to mention that. 1-0 now to him. Hit high in the air, and that's going to go into foul territory and out of play. Lots of deep foul balls this year. Late on some of these pitches. Baker hoping for a ground ball, though. He's got some good defense in behind him, though. Christian Martin, of course, at second base. The Christian McCaffrey stunt double. So here's the 1-1. Good breaking ball there from Baker. That thing just spun, and it's 1-2. It's more. It looks a lot like a slurve to me. I think we remarked on this last time.
Yeah,
it's more. It's a slider that looks a lot like a curveball.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of the arm angle that you get at 6'6".
Right. As check swing goes around, strike three called, and that's one big out for Luke Baker as he gets Buma down swinging.
Yeah, I think they called that on the swing. I couldn't tell if that was a called strike or not. Interesting gesture because the umpire, the home plate umpire,
rung him up.
Mitch Evans, he pointed at the swing and then rung him up like it was a strike three call. So who knows, what it really was, but regardless, a big K there for the first out of this second inning.
It's got to be the first time we've had Mitch Evans this season. We'll see how his zone is as we go along. But Jack Ryan, the designated hitter, fresh off of his appearance in the Tom Clancy movie, 1-0. DeAndre Anderson at third and Dave Turco at first base. We've had DeAndre before.
I think we might have had Turco. I can't remember. Definitely a new face behind the dish, though.
That ball smoked right to third, and Pepe will get the double play. How about that for Rocco Pepe? An important turn double play, and potentially Luke Baker's night is done as that ball was lined right to him. And we'll see you for the bottom of the second for the big train do-up, Pepe, Nirai, and Nip when we come back. Rocco Pepe, fresh off of turning a beautifully turned double play on the L5-3, will stand in at the plate. Long Beach State dirtbag, has his own hot dog named after him. What more could you ask?
Not for long.
Leads the league in batting average, 429. That's
that?
inside for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, sensing a little bit of a theme here. Make a great play defensively, come up to bat, try to start things off well for your side offensively.
Searching for their first hit against Jonathan Martinez in several appearances as that ball runs way up and outside, and it's 1-1. Pepe, Neareye, and Grant Knipp due up this inning. Back-to-back catchers in the batting order, too.
Martinez on the year, 5 games, no starts.
Pepe, nearly gunning for double digits in hit by pitches there.
8 2/3 innings of work, 7 hits, just 2 runs, both earned, 11 strikeouts. Get this, no walks. That one to Darius Foster, his first of the season, and a 2.07 ERA.
Been a solid year for him and a great start, or great guy to ask to start for you as you look to keep some zeros up on the board. As Pepe fouls it off and it's 2-2.
1-0 record, 2 saves as well.
That win came against the Big Train.
Yes,
and that's
it did.
that's a very big notch to have on your belt, is that you got a win against the Big Train.
Not many pitchers in this league that can say that so far.
But it was an utterly dominant performance from him at Criswell Automotive Field. As they came back to win that one after an implosion by Jack Cohn in the 7th and 8th. That one runs way inside, and it's a full count.
Well, Martinez has been working that inside a lot on Pepe. You saw it with the called strike on the very first pitch of this at-bat. I think that's just where pitchers want to attack Pepe.
And he is hit for the 10th time this season.
Mom's going to love that.
And he now sits 11 away from tying the record. And it's very much in play this season.
I mean, yeah, we're about halfway through the season, right? Now entering the month of July. I think there are a little bit more games in June, but we're right up about the equal parts way through. And he's already at 10, so who knows? Again, not something he's gunning for. So something we're going to have to look out for.
So here's Danny Neareye, his dad, good friends of NBA beat reporter Adrian Wojnarowski. Something we learned very recently. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See Martinez from the stretch since first inning. Not even close, and it's 1-0. Had some good discussions with Mr. Neareye. Learned how to say his last name officially. Very close to what we were saying before, but not quite.
Just didn't have the emphasis on the right syllable.
Right.
A little bit closer to.
There goes Pepe. Throw down by Morale is not even close. And he's safe at second. So a stolen base showing the wheels there for Rocco Pepe. And quickly a runner in scoring position for Danny Neareye, who thrives in these situations.
Yeah, trying to make Martinez hurt a little bit for making him hurt with that stolen base there.
Neareye had last night off, and of course, off of that game-tying double, the clutch double, and then scoring the winning run in that thriller here the other night. Neareye been one of the better hitters on this team since he's gotten here from Notre Dame. 1-1. That's inside, and it's 2-1.
Pepe now perfect 6 for 6 on swipe bags on the year.
Knows when to show the wheels, and that's been very important for this team this year. So they run all over the place. And, I mean, it's from the man himself, Sal Colangelo, who ran more than anyone back in his high school days. Neareye takes the first strike, and it's 2-2, or second strike, and it's 2-2. Got a good count here. Hopefully he can run it full. Maybe get something he can lean on here. 2-2 now to number 15, Danny Neareye. Listed as 39 initially, and then changed up.
Pepe with a pretty significant lead there off second.
Way inside, not even dancing out of the way of that one is Neareye, and it's 3-2.
Center field, Martinez. Right field, Mercer. Both playing pretty deep. Hyder a few steps a little more shallow and left.
Big Train.
Orgazzo cheating towards second to hold Pepe on. Huge gap the opposite way up the left side.
Right, firmly in first as we head to the 4th of July holiday. 2 days off for that. Neareye hits one into the opposite field down the left field line. Coming on is Hyder. He'll make the play, and Pepe will have to return a second.
Yeah, so trying to do just that, trying to take it the opposite way, reaching a little bit for it, maybe a little bit out of the zone, but a good pitch to hack at 3-2. Just couldn't keep it on the ground
Right.
and through the hole.
Off the end of the bat, hit with one hand. Not going to get too many deep fly balls of that one, but put a big charge into it. So here's Grant Knipp, the catcher. I've had many discussions with him, and we might have a discussion with another player tonight in the middle innings. We'll see potentially one of the outfielders on the roster come up here. See what makes him tick. This guy we haven't talked too much about this year, but a guy that definitely needs to be talked about. So there's a good pitch from Martinez, but it called a ball, and it's 1-0. The person you're wondering is Trevor Doyle. We might have him come upstairs in the middle innings if he remembers.
He doesn't get subbed into the game either.
Right.
Available as a lefty off the bench, along with Nolan Shanuel.
Pepe on second. Here's the pitch. Is hammered to center field. Coming over to center fielder. He dives, and he made the catch. Oh, what a grab by the center fielder, Tyler Martinez, and it's a sacrifice fly, but it saved a whole lot more. You can hang an exclamation point next to that one as Tyler Martinez makes a tremendous diving catch.
Yeah, and I was about to say, Pepe, he's got a lead halfway down to third base, and he's trotting all the way back. That ball looked like it was straight into the gap. Instead, Martinez extending fully, stretching out, laying out, making the catch for the second out. Pepe down to third after tagging up smartly.
Tailing away from the center fielder Martinez, showing off the wheel, showing off the dive, full extension, makes an absolutely fantastic catch.
Yeah, and a beautiful draw there for the golfers off the bat of Grant Knipp. Started out way right. Looked like it was dropping all the way left into the left center gap. Instead, Martinez. Web gem.
So Gauthier, returning from his home haunts, his former haunts at South County High School, comes home here, and it's 1-0 quickly. Him and Jack Cohn enjoyed some time together on the roster there. Both of their numbers actually retired on the outfield fence, or honored. I'm not sure what it is there. You see some, not necessarily retired probably. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2-0 or 1-1? Yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah, that's the same breaking ball, back-to-back pitches. Trying to go for the same location as well, but just that one missed a little bit lower, I think. Martinez able to really find that outside edge on Gauthier the first pitch.
Gauthier has not homered since he hit one off the tree down the left field line and halfway up the tree, maybe even further.
And you can see what Martinez is trying to do here to Gauthier. Starts him off with two breaking balls outside, now works a little bit hotter cheese up on the inside.
Really, I think it's just trying to keep him from getting extended on these baseballs because they know how potent this lineup is. But if you keep it inside, they won't be able to square up the ball as well as they would if it were right down the middle or outside. So 1-2 now to Gauthier, right where he wants him, and he calls time. Back to that catch by Tyler Martinez. I mean, that was a phenomenal play. And he had to run a pretty far way to get to that, and it looked like it was going to drop, but full extension, Gauthier takes up and in, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, and I think this is the guy, not to go away from Martinez for a second, but I think that this is definitely one of the guys you want to have at the plate here with the potential first run of the game 90 feet away in Rocco Pepe, tied for third on the team with 18 RBIs, and looking for number 19 right here.
A quiet 18 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Gauthier, taken right down the middle, strike three called, and that'll retire the side. So the Big Train get a runner to third, but they can't get him in as Gauthier goes down looking. We'll head to the top of the third here on Big Train TV.
Fresh off of hitting 2 home runs in 1 inning in South County, he's on the mound to pitch. It's Kemp Alderman who pumps a ball on the outside half to Cam Hyder, and it's 1-0. Kemp Alderman, that stat reminds me of something as he delivers the 1-0. Blooped in the air, shallow left, but Foster right there to make the play for the first out, and there's 1 down. It reminds me of back when Jose Reyes pitched in a blowout game against the Nationals, and he allowed 2 home runs, and then the next day he hit 2 home runs. I don't think Kemp wants to allow 2 home runs here.
I mean, those would cancel out, right?
It's like PEMDAS.
Yeah. I know math. Totally.
Bottom of the order, Ryan Martinez is hit by the pitch, and he is aboard. Kemp Alderman, head hunting. Just kidding. He trying to deliver the kill shot, but unfortunately a little offline.
Yeah, I think just a bit inside there.
So the lineup turns over for Dusty Mercer, who singled his first time up, but was thrown out on a 6U fielder's choice in the first inning. Tagged out, forced out, whatever you want to call it. Sun has settled behind the clouds for now. We'll see how long that lasts. First pitch to him. Takes a big swing at that, and it's fouled down the left field line. It's 0-1. 22nd game of the season. Big Train at home. They love home. They're 9-1 at home this year, and not too bad on the road either. 8-2, 17-3 is going to get you that. The Big Train face the Giants, who are 11-7 as it stands, 5 games out of first. Mercer takes a big swing and a miss and foul tips it into the mitt and out of the mitt of Grant Knipp, and it's 0-2.
Alderman on the year, 2 appearances pitching-wise, 9.0 ERA, 3 innings of work, 3 hits, 3 runs.
And all those 3 runs
walks.
came in his first game. So he pitched
5 strikeouts, though.
He's pitched a
As we've said,
scoreless
he's
inning.
got the stuff.
So far, the only 2 hits of the game are for the Giants. Alderman looking to get out of this one unscathed. There's a foul and tapped past the glove of Grant Knipp, and it's still 0-2.
He can really put some juice on that baseball.
He just rears back and just sends it. The mighty righty is mighty righty on the mound, too.
I mean, he's got plenty of mass to put behind that baseball.
I wonder what the conversation's like. Hey, Kemp, you hit 2 home runs in 1 inning last game. Let's have you pitch in the next one. That must be fun. Here's the 0-2. Throws a breaking ball this time, and it bends into the dirt, and it's 1-2. Pretty cool night at Povich Field. 76 degrees at first pitch. Probably one of the coolest we've had all season. 1-2 now. That runs outside, and it's 2-2. So we head very close to the 4th of July holiday. The funny thing is I wonder when that Alexandria game will be rescheduled for. Last night we were due to be in Alexandria, but rain go away.
I'd probably say the 14th of July, the last time this team is scheduled to head down there to Alexandria.
Yeah, potentially a split doubleheader that day, or they'll just schedule it for the day before, so they stay in Alexandria. And there's a good at bat from Dusty Mercer. He works a walk after being down 0-2. And there's 2 runners on.
Yeah, first walk of the night for any Gaithersburg batter there. And like you said, excellent job to stay on top of it, not get a little too far behind, not get a little too anxious at any of those pitches coming in, and work it all the way back from 0-2 to a walk.
Tyler Martinez, fresh off of his web gem last inning, stands in here with 1 out and 2 runners on. Here's the first pitch from Alderman. Tapped, half swing, right to first base. Thomas will flip it to Alderman, who covers, and he's safe. Came off the bag, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, it's a really tough play all around. First of all, poor location for the infield, right between the second baseman, Martin, who's playing more towards the bag. Thomas has to charge off first, not his natural position. Position he plays very well for sure, but, obviously not his first choice. And then, Alderman really has to come over and chug to get there to cover because it's a soft dribbler. Thomas has to charge that pretty quickly. And, it's just unfortunate there that Alderman comes off the bag at the last moment.
Smoke towards second, or short. To second for 1, back to first. not in time. So a run does come across, score on the fielder's choice. So a manufactured run here in this inning for the Giants, and they lead at 1-0. But I was going to tap back to that. It was a check swing single for Tyler Martinez, but fielder's choice, 6-4-3, not turned. 1 out. So here's Dom Ragazzo standing in, Delaware native. Martinez thrown out at second on the fielder's choice by Luke Kiesel. 2 outs now, and here's the first pitch from Alderman. Ragazzo takes the ball, and it's 1-0.
Good slide from Martinez as well. Nothing dirty, right? Nothing,
Right.
Chase Utley-esque, but enough to throw Gauthier coming in from short a little bit off of his rhythm. Actually, I guess it was Martin.
There goes the
coverage.
runner, and Ragazzo will have to go back to where he was as Ragazzo sends one out of play. Dom Ragazzo hit a home run in the 9th inning way back when, the last time these teams were playing here. But that's all. And he's also burned the big train with some speed on the base pass this year and made some nice plays in the field. Could do it all. 1-1.
You don't see speedy shortstops hitting cleanup a lot.
Bounces one to third, and it's going to get through for a base hit, and that'll score another run. So an RBI single, and Dom Ragazzo continues to kill the big train, and it's 2-0.
And that's exactly why the speedy shortstop is in the cleanup position. Beautifully placed single up the left side of the infield, well between the third base shortstop gap.
There's a lot of traffic on the base pass for Kemper Alderman this inning. Nothing hit too terribly hard. It's been a lot of softly hit singles, softly hit base runners reaching. Just a shame that 2 runs have come across against him.
Yeah, and not an error on that Tyler Martinez reach as well.
Yeah, that was a straight base hit. Big. He's got that whip motion, gunslinger motion. Does Kemper Alderman on the mound, and he does gunsling it. It sizzles in there. He just got to figure out where to hit it as it's fouled off. And
he's got that interesting kind of like glove tap going as he starts his motion from the stretch. See a lot of guys doing that, just trying to make sure that they have the timing synced up, that they have their balance right.
And sometimes they'll do that to make sure they're not tipping pitches. I recall Ryan Dempster used to do glove flip with his glove when he would pitch because he would tip his pitches when he didn't used to do that.
Everybody's got their little thing. Nice breaking ball in there.
That was a solid breaking ball and a good take nonetheless from Michael Morale, the catcher. Another guy that sort of wiggles his glove when he pitches is Andrew Heaney of the Anaheim or Los Angeles Angels. I recall that pretty clearly. Nice wiggle there. Here's the pitch. Crushed to short. That's a tough hop for Gauthier. He'll flip to second in time, and the side is retired, but not after a couple of runs come across on some softly hit baseballs. That one wasn't softly hit. Word from our sponsors up next.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Brady, better known as Forrest Gump, comes up to the plate. Looking to run around the base pass. He did just that way back when Ben was calling his last game here at Povich Field. Big Train still no answer for Jonathan Martinez this season. That's 3 2/3 scoreless innings, hitless innings against them this year. To strike right away, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 now. Big Train looking to run into some runs here as Gump hits one high into right field, but that's easy enough for Dusty Mercer and right. Settle under in the sun and makes the play for the first out. Christian Martin now just got back from Carolina Panthers summer camp. Stands up to the plate.
We talked a little bit earlier with Martinez, especially how well he's pitched. You know, how long he's going to go as he pounds one in there to start off.
Yeah, and I think Martin wasn't in the lineup the last time they faced him.
No, I don't think he was. But, you know,
new faces, new places, bounce up the first base line. Easy play for Boma. He takes it to first, and there's 2 down. 3-U on that play.
But as he's, you know, cruising now through 2 2/3, he hasn't pitched more than an inning and 2/3 since all the way back on the 25th of June. That was his first appearance this season that lasted more than an inning and 2/3, and he went a solid 4 against DC in that 3-1 win.
Yeah, opponent's batting average coming into today was .219.
He got the save in that game. Allowed just 1 run, 4 hits, no walks, as we said, 2 strikeouts.
So here's Jimmy Buffett up at the plate, and it's 1-0 outside.
Facing 16 batters.
It's been a very nice season for Jonathan Martinez, and he's been just surgical against the Big Train this year.
Absolutely.
1-0. Fouls it off into the Big Train dugout on a half swing, and 1-1. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Giants and held hitless for the Big Train. I can't recall the last time the Big Train had been held this hitless this long. I think it was back in D.C. through the first couple of innings. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 on the foul tip by Riley Johnson. I know they were held hitless through the first couple of innings somewhere. I don't recall where. But it was somewhere. 1-2. Fouled into his leg, and it's still 1-2. But it's been a long time since they've been held hitless through 3 innings. Guys usually just get that out of the way almost right away. Big Train have thrown some no-hitters in their history. Last one in 2019, I believe it was. A couple guys on this roster were part of that.
They were getting 1 hit through 4 innings back on June the 23rd in D.C.
Yeah, that's probably the game I'm thinking of. 1-2, outside, 2-2.
No hits through 3 innings. Last time Alexandria was here on June the 19th, second game of that doubleheader.
Quickly, 2-2 here. He sets and delivers. Johnson smokes one way up there into center field, but that's easy enough for Tyler Martinez. Doesn't have to dive for this one and makes the play to retire the side. So another 1-2-3, or another scoreless inning for Jonathan Martinez. Big Train back to the mound when we come back here on Big Train TV. And it looks like Noah Carbajal is going to take over. The slim slinger from the Sin City comes up to take the mound here as Noah Carbajal takes over after 1 inning and 2 runs allowed for Camp Alderman. He takes over and takes on the one and only Michael Buma to lead things off, and it's 1-0. Inside strike there, and it's 1-1. I hope you liked my intro of him, Ben.
I loved it. Buma, the only strikeout victim for Luke Baker back in the second inning.
I think Carbajal would love that.
No better way to start off your day than with a healthy K.
Circle K.
Healthy bowl of Special K. Not sponsored by General Mills.
Up and in.
3-0 on the season, a 5.10 ERA for Noah Carbajal.
League leader in wins, by the way.
4 games, 1 start. So he's gotten a lot of long middle relief, as you see with that 3-0 record. Ooh.
Runs up and inside, and ball 4 there to Michael Buma, who is on with another walk this season.
12 1/3 innings of work, 15 strikeouts now, 7 walks. Came in with 6, allowed 14 hits
And
in that 12 1/3
that
inning of work.
strikeout total is very much inflated by that first outing he had,
Yep.
where he struck out, I think it was 7 or 8 or 6. But it was good. He's a big bulk guy out of the pen.
5.
Up and in again. Carbajal not hitting that spot on the inside that he's wanting.
I'm actually going to dispute that point because he's had 3 of his 4 starts. He's had at least 4 strikeouts. 2 of them have had 5.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying, but I mean, I'm not saying.
I see what you're saying. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Bounce
Oh.
right back to Carbajal. To second for 1, back to first. Double play, just what the doctor ordered. And there's quickly 2 down. Speared there by Carbajal.
What a beautiful, beautiful defensive play by the slim slinger out of Sin City. Noah Carbajal snags it, flips it over pretty easy to Gauthier, to Thomas for 2.
Great
1,
reaction there.
6, 3, count them up.
Just a quick reaction time for Noah Carbajal to get to that, and he's got 2 outs almost as quickly as he allowed that first leadoff runner. Strike in there to Cam Hyder, who flew out his last time up, which was last inning.
Call
He
it
led
the
off the last
eraser.
inning. Call him the slim slinger from the Sin City. I believe his family is here tonight, because there was some raucous applause when he was announced as the new pitcher. He's going 2 innings tonight on this bullpen game, 2-1. So we've seen Alderman and Carbajal now. I think the next pitcher scheduled to come in is either Jack Braley or Everett Catlett. One of those two comes up empty on a big swing and a miss from Cam Hyder, and it's 2-2.
Braley scheduled for the 6th if everything goes according to the plan put together by Coach Sal Colangelo.
Big train just need to
Pitching
string
coach
some
Craig
hits together.
Lopez.
Good breaking ball, bent low, 3-2.
Yeah, just looking for some run support here in the middle innings.
Gaithersburg comes into today 11-7, 5 games out of first. Big train firmly grasping that first place spot, as Patrick Starr would say. Firmly grasp it.
Your Patrick Starr needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's laced into center field. Going back is the center fielder Johnson. He makes the play to retire the side. So the double play erases the leadoff base runner for Noah Carbajal. And the man from Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, he says as he exits the mound. We come back here for the bottom half. Here's Darius Foster now to lead off against Jonathan Martinez, who has been just absolutely brilliant through 3 innings pitched. Retired every batter, or not in order, but Foster, one of the 2 guys to reach against him. And it's just been tough sailing here for the Big Train. 1-0 now. Inside, 2-0. Foster reached via a walk his first time up, promptly stole second, and then was caught at third. See if he gets on here. Love another leadoff base runner this inning. He takes a big cut there, and it's 2-1.
I think he was looking for his first big fly of the year there. Way ahead of it, trying to pull that down the right field line.
He's got sneaky pop, but we just haven't seen it this year. We've seen it in batting practice, of course.
We've definitely seen it.
Foster takes another hefty swing there, and the count runs to 2-2.
He's just very efficient about like when he has. There's a big difference between his power swing and his contact swing.
Oh yeah, and I think
he's so smart about when he's looking to do each. He's a
He
very
would-
effective on base guy, as we've talked about.
see,
Gets a
gets
little
jammed
bit under
there
that one.
and
Yeah.
into foul territory. Easy play for the third baseman Luke Keischel, and there's 1 down.
I think he was just hoping that one was going to sneak over the Big Train dugout.
I
Out of
think
play.
for
we see
him-
another fan here up the first base line taking part in the Cicada Challenge.
Well-
Getting his Ieta Cicada at Povich Field 2021 shirt.
For Foster, I think he is much more satisfied with a single than he is with a home run.
Yes.
And that's what we've seen thus far this year. But another quick out there from Jonathan Martinez. Thomas, a guy that could break it up. He gets the first pitch up high, and it's 1-0.
And, not to beat up Mitch Evans too much there, but I believe that was pretty much the same strike called on, I think it was Brady Gump. A little bit high, but it just has not been consistent as that one works a little bit inside.
Big Train getting some, not really being the beneficiary of the home plate umpire their last 2 games here at Povich Field. Of course, the guy that was the home plate umpire the other night could have been better, to say the least. Paul Thompson, the home plate umpire. And then the third base umpire, Joe Del Basso, made some interesting calls there, but you were not there to see that, Ben. 2-1 now. Thomas really corkscrewed himself into the ground on that swing, and he's going to have to rejigger himself into the batter's box.
Really nice location with the breaking ball there from Jonathan Martinez. Well inside. Thomas would have been jammed if he had made contact. Instead, really soft swing, tried to check himself, and like you said, got a little twisted up.
Just being fooled here by Martinez. Not really fooled by that one.
Nope.
His count runs full.
Smartly.
Rocco Pepe up next. And potentially just gunning once again for a hit-by-pitch record this season that he probably doesn't want. Jared Parks, of course, in 2009 was hit 21 times in a season. A lot of bruises to head home for Mr. Parks. Pepe, of course, this season has done just that, his best Ron Hunt impression. That's up and in and ball 4. So Matt Thomas is aboard with a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Pepe himself.
And sure, the Big Train haven't had any hits yet on Martinez, but to be able to draw 2 walks off a guy who hadn't walked a single soul coming into this game, that's impressive in and of itself. Now you just got to keep those base runners moving up and try to get them home and at least cut this lead in half.
And that speaks volumes for just how impressive this lineup is. Even when they're not bringing their best hitting stuff, they'll still get on base. They'll still find ways to beat you. It's just not coming for them in droves tonight like it normally does. Martinez, a guy that's really been untouchable since the Big Train have faced him this year. Fouls back at us and out of play, heads up Cars. But I'm sure Jesse Frawley would be happy. I'm not sure he wants to take him out, but there is action in the bullpen for Gaithersburg. We'll get you who that is in just a second.
As we saw.
Get the rolled up sleeves.
Yeah, interesting look there. As we talked about a little bit before, the only other start, his last appearance.
Long hold. Pepe does a Irish jig out of the way of that one. And it's 1-1.
but Martinez's longest appearance of the year, 4 innings. So if he's able to get through this one, we'll see what the decision is for Frawley should we get to the 5th.
Pepe attacks one and sends it into foul territory, hoping for the play as the first baseman. Booma, he's under it and makes the catch for the second out. So 2 foul outs in this inning for the Big Train, and Danny Neary is coming up. Neary 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field that he hit off the end of the bat with one hand and maybe broke his bat.
Yeah, and in the pen for Gaithersburg, should Martinez's day be done after this inning, it's Rhett McCafferty, 6-foot lefty, sophomore, also out of Texas State. So back-to-back Bobcats perhaps to start this game for Gaithersburg.
We've seen McCafferty before. He pitched back in Gaithersburg a couple times ago. Seen this team quite often this year. 11-7 record. Team that's just hanging around right now, doing their best to stay in the hunt. But it's going to be tough to unseat the beast. That is the Bethesda Big Train.
Third to last matchup between these two teams. They've got, most of them in pretty early.
Opening night, of course, is first pitch there from Martinez is low, ball 1. Just a couple more games left.
3-1 coming into tonight, right?
Yeah, they have they'll have 2 tune-up games, I guess, against Israel before their final scheduled game thus far against the DC Grays, and it's a home game, home doubleheader. Outside, we'll bring you the call for all those, and we will be on the call for the All-Star game at Aberdeen at the Ripken Complex. So that's something that we're very excited to bring you. We'll probably split that game. I'm not sure. We haven't discussed it yet, but it's something we're very excited for. Potentially bring you very close to the action in a very nice venue. 2-0. Neary attacks it and fouls it out of play. A game that I'm definitely circling on my calendar because I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yeah, one of 2 All-Star exhibition games Team Israel will play. They'll play 3 total games against the Cal Ripken League. First one here at Povich against the Big Train. Second one, as you said, up in Aberdeen against the Maryland All-Stars.
Yeah, I believe it's...
And the third will be up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania against the DCVA team, I believe.
Yeah, so Gaithersburg and Silver Spring are joining forces with the Big Train. They'll have a couple of guys. We'll probably see a lot of Big Train on that roster with how they've been playing this year. But there's some guys on both teams. I mean, Kieran Garner won pitcher of the week.
Might see this guy, Jonathan Martinez, the way he's been pitching.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, Kieran Garner, reliever for Silver Spring, won CRCBL pitcher of the week. And then hitter of the week was Cam Buford from the DC Grays. We saw him have a pretty good game the last time he was here. 3-1 now, a good hitter's count for Danny Neary.
See how patient he is.
Martinez offers. Inside, ball 4. The Big Train have 2 runners on for Grant Knipp, who was robbed of a base hit his last time up. And robbed in every sense of the word.
Yeah, victim to a fantastic web gem, as we said, for Tyler Martinez out in center field.
Tailing away.
Looking to make some similar contact here in this at-bat with 2 on and 2 out ahead of him.
Yeah, tailing away from him to the left, made a beautiful diving catch to silence Grant Knipp.
And so yet without a hit, the Big Train have gotten 3 runners into scoring position, 1 down to third.
First pitch to Knipp
But
is
still
a
nothing
breaker
home.
that bends inside. Would love something to hit here for Grant Knipp. We've seen him go yard a few times this year. It's been tough sledding, though, for him recently. Breaks his bat and bloops it into shallow center. There's the second baseman, Ryan Martinez, to make the catch and retire the side. Big Train get 2 on, but once again are held hitless. Martinez threw 4 scoreless innings and no hit innings as we head to the top of the 5th here on Big As Benjamin Bobek calls for mashed potatoes, we're ready for the 5th inning. Noah Carbajal up. Giants leading the Big Train 2-0. They have 4 hits. Big Train have none.
4 no-hit innings for Jonathan Martinez, the Giants pitcher, and a decision to make following this half.
We were discussing this with Adam Gotkin. He hasn't really had no-hit stuff today. Has Mr. Martinez on the mound. So we'll see if Rhett McCafferty comes in. Adam Gotkin, of course, the broadcaster for the Gaithersburg Giants, who sits directly to our right.
So, I mean, McCafferty hasn't really been throwing that hard up there in the pen. Doing some light tossing up on the mound.
Carbo gets a beautiful spinner in there.
He's got a good count here, 1-2. But, yeah, nothing, to indicate that McCafferty's arrival onto the bump is imminent.
Martinez grounds it. A tough hop for Gauthier, but he makes it and fires to first in time to get him. So Gauthier has just had an adventure with the dirt out there tonight.
Yeah, and I think we saw, before this game when we got here around 4:30-ish, the team was doing some heavy work on that infield. Obviously, some rough storms in the area. 2 tornadoes touched down in the heart of the Washington, D.C. area down in downtown. So the dirt here at Povich Field torn up a little bit, so plenty of work. They took their batting practice in the cages.
There's a phenomenal breaking ball from Carbajal, but it's a ball downtown.
It looks fantastic.
It does, but there is some trouble areas.
Yeah, have been a couple weird hops, especially for Gauthier at short so far.
We know
and in back-to-back innings now, he's done a fantastic job of managing them, playing them in front of him, blocking them down, and getting them over to Thomas, who makes a nice stretch at first.
He's been playing strangely back at shortstop all night, so that might be why, to maybe guard for that. And that's very smart fielding by Austin Gauthier's Dusty Mercer. Fouls one way out of here and up into the second screen, way up high. That was a tomahawk there, if I've ever seen one. Dusty Mercer out of Virginia Tech, the leadoff man for the Giants. Oh, that was a good pitch from Carbajal, but it's outside, 3-1.
Little inside, actually.
Yeah, you're correct. I had my sides mixed up.
But yes, a good pitch. Trying to jam him on the inside with the breaking ball. And trying to find it again. Can't get the location exactly right, so it's a walk here with 1 out.
That's 2 walks tonight for Dusty Mercer, his 3rd time reaching base. And here's Tyler Martinez, who's grounded into a fielder's choice and singled and was thrown out at second. See what is up here for the next inning for Coach Jesse Frawley. Nobody up in the bullpen, so maybe Martinez for a 5th inning. Rip down the right field line. That's going to fall in front of the right fielder Gump and get every runner up a base. A single here for Martinez with 1 out.
Yeah, just quick, taking the first pitch he sees, dropping it in front of Gump. And a dangerous spot here for Carbajal.
And a guy you absolutely do not want to be facing in this situation, Luke Keischel, who has been
really good 3-4 punch here with Keischel and Ragazzo.
Been tearing the cover off the ball this season. Came into today batting .349, which is a solid top 5 in the league. Keischel looking to do some damage here against Noah Carbajal. He first pops a strike to lead things off, and it's 0-1.
22 hits, 14 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, a homer, 13 RBIs, and 5 walks to go with 13 stolen bases, 13 for 14 on the year, swiping bags.
Co-WCC Rookie of the Year out there at San Francisco. Pals with our former friend Jesse Barron and, of course, Darius Foster.
Forever friend Jesse
Forever friend Jesse Barron.
Forever friend of the show.
Absolutely. First interview we did here. Good pitch from Carbajal, but
good
just
pitch
missed.
And a better job by Keischel in the box to hold up around. Clearly held it up. That bat never got near the plate. Good discipline.
Very solid discipline here for Luke Keischel, and that's why you win Co-WCC Player of the Year. He hatchets one to the right side, and it's booted by Thomas, and that's going to get a run in to score. So attacking there and getting in to score there is Dusty Mercer, and it's 3-0 Giants. That's going to be an error on Mr. Matt Thomas.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate for Thomas. I think the error for me is more on after the fact. Didn't charge as hard as he probably could have in tracking it down. But again, a really tough play to make almost halfway the second base bag, trying to backhand that with the big scoop mitt.
So no RBI on the play there, as it's an error. Carbajal looking to get out of this inning. That ball was poked to the right side, and Thomas just had to range to his left and couldn't make the play. The Big Train trail by 3.
And still only 1 out.
Still trying to, and Carbajal would love another 1-5-3 double or 1-6-3 double play like he turned last inning. Dom Regazzo ditches the batting gloves, takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Regazzo out of West Virginia. Mountaineer. 1-1 now. Dancing off first base is Keishel. Carbajal with the long hold. Gets a pitch in there on the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Keishel is at first. Tyler Martinez is at second. I'm going to forget their first names as we go along here. Regazzo smokes one down the left field line, and they can run for days as Foster chases that to the wall. 2 runs are going to score easily, and Dom Regazzo puts the brakes on as he rounds second with a 2 RBI double, and the Giants lead at 5-0. Regazzo just continues to torment Big Train pitching.
Second and third RBIs of the night for Dom Regazzo as he stroked that one down the left field line, straight into the corner. Foster had to dig that one out against the fence, and no chance at getting Keishel coming home from first there. And the error comes back to bite him. Unearned run.
As they always say, errors will haunt, walks will haunt.
And they, both of those have haunted Carbajal here in the 5th.
Carbajal in his last inning. New pitcher for the next one. Good breaking ball from him, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, and I mean, Carbajal, not exactly, maybe missing a little bit to Mercer. He was trying to work the inside zone there a little bit too much and couldn't exactly find the right spot. Finished with 3 straight pitches, a little bit too far inside. But the stuff has been there. I mean, you see it right there. I don't know where that missed.
Yeah, that's a strike. I'm sorry. Home plate.
I don't know where that missed.
I don't either. Home plate umpire Mitch Evans having a night that could have been avoided. But a lot of prolonged innings here for Bethesda. Here's the 1-2 now. There's a breaking ball called strike 3, so he gets that one in virtually the same exact spot. And Michael Morales is retired looking for the second out.
A little bit further inside, if anything.
I I don't know. I really don't know what to think about that.
Regardless, much better spot here with 2 outs now, and Regazzo leading off second.
Big Train trail by 5, not their biggest trail of the season. They came back from a 7-run deficit against South County. And this is just a game where you need to keep chipping away. This ball gets away, and it'll go to third. Running down third is Regazzo, and he's out. A very poor base running decision by Dominic Regazzo, and he is retired as the ball missed Carbajal coming back up. Maybe I don't know if they ran that play because Carbajal didn't look like he wanted to catch that ball. But he gets Regazzo out at third on a very strange end of the inning. But 3 runs come across the score. They lead at 5-0.
Yeah, and that's 2 innings, 1 apiece for each team, where the third out has been made at third. Fundamentals need a little bit more work here as we head to the second half of this game. Bottom 5 coming.
Brady Gump will lead things off or Austin Gauthier will lead things off against Jonathan Martinez in for his 5th inning work, and that one sails way over. Needs some spider tack there.
And now I'm surprised that Rhett McCafferty isn't up and throwing. I mean, the concern with Martinez was, look, this is a guy who's had really good stuff. He's got 4 no-hit innings so far, but the control hasn't necessarily been there, especially in that last half inning against the Big Train Bats.
I'd look to that as a turning point if Gauthier can get on here, as that misses inside, 2-0. So the play to end last inning, I'm not sure if that's one that they ran or what. Because Carbajal didn't even look like he was making an effort for that ball. 2-0. Gauthier sends one way in the air into right field. There's Mercer. He makes the catch for the first out.
A little bit of can of corn there. Ball pretty loud off the bat, but pretty high. And not nearly deep enough to trouble Mercer and right.
Maybe they need to use the humidor today. Balls are not flying out of Povich Field. But Ben's taking a look back at the end of that inning. Carbajal didn't even go after the ball. And Regazzo was a dead duck as that's crushed into left field, and that one won't carry as well, staying in the ballpark for Hyder. And Gump is retired for the second out.
So 2 pretty decent pieces of contact there, but again, a little bit under both times, a little bit too high to actually do anything with either of those pitches.
So here's Christian Martin, Virginia Tech commit. We'll get to know Dusty Mercer soon. But back to that play, I think that might have been on. They might have called for something there. Because Gauthier, I just don't know what to call that. Rolled up sleeves, first pitch to Martin inside, ball 1. Big Train, no hits yet to this point. Martinez looks none worse for the wear out there on the mound after sailing the first pitch of the inning. Martinez bloops one into shallow left, might fall in, and it will. There's the first hit of the night as Christian Martin gets aboard with another Texas leaguer down the left field line, and they'll throw to first base. I'm not sure what Dom Regazzo is doing there, as if he misses, Martin's at second. So Martin is aboard with the first hit of the day for the Big Train, and order turns over for Riley Johnson.
Yeah, nice piece of reaching base there for Christian Martin. And yeah, I'm like you said, I'm looking back at that play, and I think I don't know if it's put on, but the one thing that would lead me to agree with you is there's no urgency from Carbajal.
Right.
He's not like reaching out, flailing at the throw from Nip, and it lands pretty nicely square in between Gauthier at short and Martin from second, who are both charging on that pretty quickly, almost like they're coming home to cover a throw.
Right.
So I'm thinking that was a back pick from Nip to second.
That he's just short-armed.
And Regazzo just didn't have the best read on it, and he was taken off the second that ball left Nip's hand.
Now Johnson smokes one into right field for a base hit, and Martin will turn and go to third. Here comes the throw from the right fielder Mercer. Not in time. It's cut off. And the Big Train have something cooking here with 2 outs.
And now Rhett McCafferty up in that right side bullpen. He's going to head to the mound and loosen that arm up pretty quickly.
Well, the first pitch of that at-bat, I am not sure where it missed. Mitch Evans is having an interesting night, to say the least, behind the dish.
And a venture.
Would love for Foster to get on with a patented infield single here to drive in a run. Things unraveling a bit here for Jonathan Martinez, and that might be it for him as Jesse Frawley comes out to the mound. We'll see what's up when we come back here on Big Train TV, if there's a new pitcher or what. But we have a word from our sponsors coming up.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Sponsor for the Big Train, Catalyst Hot Dogs, opened in winter of 2020, is located just beyond the third base grandstand at Povich Field. Specializing in New Jersey-style hot dogs, Catalyst is inspired by the classic Jersey joints that that owner and operator Chris Vanjora grew up enjoying. Featuring Rosita Farms all-beef dry-aged dogs, as well as vegan dogs, Catalyst is available for all your events needs and can be found on all social media platforms under the handle @CatalystHotDogs. Contact them at info@catalysthotdogs.com. Catalyst Hot Dogs, one all the way. So Jonathan Martinez stays in here to face Darius Foster and pours a strike for the first pitch of the at-bat, and it's 0-1. 2 base runners for the Big Train, both on the hit, their first 2 of the game. Johnson and Martin, 2 late arrivees to this team. 5-0 the Giants lead, and you would love one big swing of the bat from Foster, but love a single too as he laces one right to second, and they'll take the force at second for the third out. So bending but not breaking is Martinez. His night is likely done. 5-0. New pitcher for the Big Train when we come back. We'll see you for that here on Big Train. As Jack Braley warms up to some phenomenal Dropkick Murphys music and pours a strike in there to the leadoff hitter for the Giants, Michael Buma, who was up to the plate when Dom Ragazzo was thrown out at third. Braley didn't pitch for like 2 weeks, and then he pitched the other night in South County, and then he's pitching again. Tap to second. Martin has it, short-handed to first, in time for the first out. Now, this is the part of the game where the Big Train need to smell blood for the first time and drive some runs in.
Well, first they have to get back to the bat.
They can drive in runs whenever they want. That's just how good they are, Ben. It's
I don't
like
think
Chuck
that's
Norris
how the
jokes.
rules of baseball work.
No, they'll
Tyler.
subtract runs from the Giants for cheating. That's what they'll do.
No spider tack here. Did see, I think it was a collegiate summer league team down in Florida, had their mascot checked for sticky substances.
Swing and a miss there from Jack Ryan.
I don't think Homer's got any spider tack in his back pocket.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know about Bunt, though. Bunt's a little more mischievous.
Bunt's shifty.
Yeah, I don't
You never
trust
trust that guy. That one's grounded to third. Pepe, leaping throw to first in time for the second out.
Yeah, really good job to keep his balance there. Charged that one hard, crossed the left side of the infield.
Cam
Gunning
Hyder.
it over.
Cam Hyder for his third plate appearance today. He's flew out both times he's been up. Jack Braley out of Christopher Newport, one of 2 Christopher Newport arms in that beehive, but the only one that starts with B. Danny Tchaikovsky, the other one.
Yeah, as you said, 2 appearances for Braley, 1 inning the other night in South County.
Sends one way in the air, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning as Foster makes the play to retire the side. 3 flyouts for Cam Hyder as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
And so here's the interesting thing about the bullpen game plan here. Great inning there from Braley. We'll see if maybe Sal Colangelo decides to keep him in for another inning of work, or if everything goes according to plan.
Utterly silenced through the first 5 innings were the big train against starting pitcher Jonathan Martinez, as now Rhett McCafferty, our old friend, takes over on the mound. The only lefty available out of the bullpen tonight for Jesse Frawley's Gaithersburg Giants.
4 appearances on the year, 2 starts, 13 clean innings of work, as this one runs way inside on Thomas. 15 hits allowed, 10 runs, just 7 of them earned, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. 1-1 on the year with 1 save and a 4.84 ERA coming into this one.
So, Ben, we've seen some interesting lines as that misses outside this season for 2 pitchers in particular.
Yes.
One of them, Hassan Akil,
Yep.
where he allowed 8 walks
Down in D.C.
and 1 strikeout,
Plenty of runs as well.
and 8 runs as well.
And
And
threw
then
95 pitches.
95 pitches, which was insane. As Thomas takes one in the exact same spot he just took one that was called a ball, and it's 2-1. And last night, the other night, the most insane line we'll ever heard. We'll get to that in a second when Thomas takes his pitch. I don't think we'll ever see something like this again. And I'm shocked that it actually happened as Thomas takes one in the same spot again, and it's 2-2. So Will Kennedy came into pitch and had to wear one, and he gave up in 2/3 of an inning for South County 10 hits, 10 runs, 1 earned. I don't know how to describe that.
There's got to be something incorrect with that earned number, I think. That would be my guess.
Potentially, but he came in inheriting a lot of runners, and then there was an error in the middle of the inning, and error that prolonged the inning, actually, and I think that might be what it is, because they all scored on Kemp Alderman's home runs. 14 spot in the 8th inning. Big Train would love that now.
45-minute
Thomas
half inning.
sends one way out of here. Foul. Big Train would love another 14 spot here, but
Very entertaining inning down in South
Yeah.
County. That's what I'll say. Long and entertaining.
saw history made as Kemp Alderman homered twice in an inning. We'll get you back on that to see if anybody's done it in league history. Right down the middle, strike 3 called. Thomas rung up for the first out here in the 6th, or in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and a tough take there. We've seen a couple of those. I think the other backwards K that really had you questioning it was the Gauthier strikeout looking in the 2nd inning. You're not going to – I mean, sure, you got to chip away, but at some point you got to take the bat off your shoulder and try to put one in play here.
Right, and no better man to do that than Rocco Pepe here. He takes one high, ball 1. One and 0 now. Pepe takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Pepe was hit earlier in the game with a pitch.
To nobody's surprise.
To absolutely nobody's surprise. He would like to apologize to absolutely nobody. Pepe takes one way outside, and it's 2-1.
He does work the inside of the batter's
Yes.
box. Nobody's going to deny that, but it's not like he's standing out there with arms at full extension over the plate. His arms are pretty compact. They're high.
And where they're hitting
He's
him,
taking his space that's allowed to him in the batter's box. They're just always trying to work him inside, as you see Rhett McCaffrey do right there with the breaking ball too far inside.
It's the funny thing is that where he's getting hit, he doesn't really have a chance to move out of the way because they're on the backside, they're at his feet. He got hit in the head. I think painful season for Rocco Pepe nonetheless, but he still leads the league in batting average. That's inside, gets away, and Pepe is aboard with a walk.
I thought that one hit his foot for a second. Regardless, first base runner aboard here against Rhett McCaffrey.
So if all holds, I believe Everett Catlett would be the next pitcher out of the bullpen for the big train. We saw him bat.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We could see Braley go more than one, but
we saw him stand at bat. I don't know if we could say we saw him bat.
Yeah, he's took
Everett.
Two fastballs, and then a slider was spun on him, and he went down flailing.
Little too patient for the situation.
I think he figured he was getting nothing but fastballs the whole at bat, so he was going to swing on 2 strikes. But
and then
he got a lot of ribbing from his teammates
slider.
As Danny Nearai takes a strike, good breaking ball from McCaffrey, and it's 0-1.
Teammate of the man we saw in the last half inning on the bump, Tchaikovsky, as well as Cooper Rons, very forceful in saying Catlett maybe shouldn't have taken that many pitches.
Fans getting restless here at Povich Field as he's picked off, and Pepe is gonna be safe at second and thinks about going to third. Very confusing play, but he's safe.
I mean, that's just pretty much sums up the season Rocco Pepe has had so far. Can put not a foot wrong, is maybe going aggressively the second that ball left McCaffrey's hands. Nice lefty move from McCaffrey back to first.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter, as despite having Pepe as a sitting duck at second, throws squirts away from Regazzo, the shortstop, halfway down to third base, and Pepe is safe down to second.
As boos rain down from the rafters. No, they're just chanting big train here. Nearai takes a ball inside, and it's 1-1. That looked good to me from McCaffrey. I don't know.
Frawley was just saying, let's go to Mitch Evans, because as you've said, consistently inconsistent.
Yeah,
right?
more consistently inconsistent than a few good men on a rainy Sunday. Oh, wait, Ethan Rothstein's not here. Never mind. 1-1 with 1 out and a runner on second, Rocco Pepe. Long hold from McCaffrey. Grant Knipp, wearing the shin guards, is on deck. Takes a strike, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, and now some more continued words. And Mitch Evans giving
Frawley's
him a
going to have to
warning.
be careful here as Mitch Evans hobbles back to behind home plate.
We have not seen an ejection so far this year.
We haven't, but Sal Colangelo came very close.
Could be prepared to cross that off your bingo cards tonight.
We're waiting for the first ejection
I'm
of the
rooting
season.
for it. Not to be that guy, but I'm rooting for it.
You're not that guy,
Let's see some fireworks, eh?
Oh, yeah.
It's 4th of July weekend.
Absolutely, would love that.
Bust them out.
Nearai takes it and called strike 3, and there's 2 outs. I just don't know anymore what to – I mean, did he say he went around? I really don't know.
I think he said that might have been on the swing.
Okay, well –
because, again, that goes back to the last time we were questioning whether he went around or whether it was a called strike. He pointed and gave the fist out signal, not a punch out.
So here's Grant Knipp, and the big train have been just blanked tonight. Austin Gauthier on deck. It's been The fans once again are getting restless.
And again, another runner in scoring position here. Back-to-back innings now. They've had somebody there. Just got to take advantage of it once to start.
Strike inside, and Grant Knipp did not like that. Don't worry, Grant. You're not alone. Okay, 0-1 here to Grant Knipp. I apologize for sounding very rude here on the broadcast, but
It's just nice to know we're not alone.
yeah.
The feelings seem to be echoed in both dugouts now.
Knipp fouls it back, and it expands the zone for the hitters too, which really is unfortunate. If you have an inconsistent zone, it's going to make guys chase further and further outside. It's going to make them swing at inside pitches, and it's going to be a rough night. I mean, we saw way back in 2003 when Eric Gregg had a just ridiculously wide strike zone for Livan Hernandez, and he struck out 16 in an NLCS game.
Can MLB home plate umpires fall under obscure baseball references?
Potentially, but my only one thus far is Andrew Heaney. So Eric Gregg, of course. I mean, Livan Hernandez,
Not
workhorse,
obscure.
not obscure, workhorse. One of the most durable
Washington
starting
Nationals
pitchers.
legend.
Mets legend too.
Washington Nationals.
Very durable pitcher. As Knipp taps it to short. Tough play, and it's booted by Ragazzo, and everybody's going to be safe. So Dom Ragazzo has had an interesting night, to say the least. And now, 2 runners on for Austin Gauthier.
Yeah, pretty clear E6 there.
And once again,
And now this is, again, you got to take advantage here. Second inning now that not just a runner in scoring position, but a runner in third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Look to Gauthier to do something here. Again, a guy great with runners in scoring position, a guy who's been really clutch when it comes to bringing home runs.
And I was just going to mention
trying to
once
start
again
something here.
how treacherous the field conditions are tonight.
Yeah.
Poor drainage at Povich Field. We know that. The rain's going to affect it pretty bad.
I mean, you can see very much clearly on the camera just how much the fresh dirt has been churned up. I mean, now the fans are getting in on it too.
Mitch Evans has got to be a little bit better. Just some questionable calls. Austin Gauthier looking to charge a run in and silence the crowd. Or make the crowd be a little bit louder, I guess. Breaking ball outside, and it's 0-2. This is of all the innings tonight Mitch Evans has had, this has been the one where it's been most glaring.
And it's really affected the play the most. Obviously it's going to affect the play, like you said, in every at-bat, just because of the batter's approach.
If anyone's going to get ejected, it's going to be tonight. So 0-2 now from McCafferty. 5-0 lead for the Giants. Here's the pitch. Gauthier attacks one way, way, way out of here, but foul.
Oh, right over a car. I thought it was going to slam into a white sedan crossover thing there down the right field line, right behind the batting cage.
When you forget...
missed it, took a hop into the forest.
When you don't know the brand of the car, so you just say sedan.
Well, no, I mean, it's blocked out halfway by the picnic pavilion.
0-2, once again to Gauthier, who got a good pitch to hit there, but...
I'll take the binoculars out and double check.
High, ball 1.
I was 50% sure that was going to be called a strike.
Yep, that's just been the type of night it's been. 1-2 now to Gauthier.
Looks like it's a Nissan Altima, white Nissan Altima.
License plate number?
I'm not going to read that out on YouTube because I'm sure that violates some term of service.
So, it's 1-2 now to Gauthier.
Does look like a Maryland plate, though.
Not a lot of hangers tonight the Big Train have had. And he goes down swinging, and the side is retired. So the Big Train get another runner on third. In a very interesting inning from the home plate umpire, Mitch Evans. We'll be back for the top of the 7th here on Big Train. In a very swimmingly moving through game, Everett Catlett takes over for the 7th. We'll probably see Matt Howitt for the 8th, and then Ryan Metz for the 9th. Big Train need to tack on some runs, but first, leadoff hitter.
And for Jack Braley, quickly, just 2 really fantastic innings.
He pitched one.
In his
in his last 2, yeah.
2 appearances,
I'm sorry.
Tyler.
I'm
That's what I would
sorry.
have said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jumped the gun a little bit there. But
Everett-
yes, no, you're right. A fantastic inning tonight and a fantastic inning the other night at South County.
Everett Catlett, 0-1. Here's the pitch.
And Catlett's had
Splash!
2 very different appearances. The first time was 3 strikeouts. He struck
Yeah.
out the side. And the second time was a little bit more roundabout, a little bit more work to do. Tougher night for the whole team, really, down in South County.
It's been a tough night for the Big Train here. 0-2, though, from Catlett, who's worked some pretty solid innings this season. Ball 1. Took an at-bat in Lorton the other night.
Took the first 2 pitches, then got
What?
tripped up way ahead of a slider on the 3rd pitch. Did get credited for
A base hit, though.
somebody's
Somebody.
base hit. I think it was Foster's, or no, it was Christian Martin's double.
Strike 3 called. Gets him looking, and much to the ire of Ryan Martinez, he's down looking.
Eye on Jesse Frawley in the dugout right now.
Yeah, he was on the top step earlier. He's emerged back into the chasm of the dugout, but smoked up the middle. Nice diving try by Gauthier, but it's going to be a base hit for Dusty Mercer, his second of the day, and he's reached base all 4 times he's been up.
Yeah,
Fired that one up the middle.
deserved hit there. Not close to being an error. I believe the rule is it's about effort, right? It's about how
Extraordinary
much extraordinary effort, right? Thank you for the clarification there, and that was certainly effort there from Gauthier in the shortstop hole. Diving for it, just snuck under him.
So another
as
guy
you said.
with a pair of hits is Tyler Martinez. He's up now with Mercer aboard. Thomas holds him on at first. Ball 1 to from Catlett. So Catlett gets the 7th, and I think it's going to be Matt Howitt for the 8th. Catlett this season pitched pretty solidly, 4.5 ERA, and this is his 3rd game.
2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run.
Fouls it back, and it's 1-1.
And 4 strikeouts now, as we said.
We might see him and another hulking presence in the booth at some point. No Trevor Doyle tonight, though, apparently. Still time, but he might come into the game at some point. Luke Keischel would be next, barring a double play. Mercer on first with the single. Here is the 1-1 from Catlett. Delivers. Half swing went around. Strike 2.
Yeah, no doubt about that check swing there from Martinez. And Catlett really seems to have found the strikeout swing and miss stuff that he didn't have as much in that last appearance. But when he's on, I mean, that 6-7 release point is really deadly for any hitter.
Oh, yeah. And if you're a lefty, just good luck. Fouled off. Well, the thing tonight, in a night that's been very bereft of offense for the Big Train, you know, they've had some solid pitching. Now, it hasn't held together in certain instances, but it's been generally solid all night.
Yeah, I mean, even the worst inning, quote-unquote, just in terms of number-wise, was that 3-run top of the 5th, and there were some unfortunate breaks for Noah Carbajal.
Swing and a miss got him as there's a big strikeout for Everett Catlett. His second of the inning, he gets Martinez to fan, and that'll bring up Luke Keischel. Luke Keischel, as we mentioned before, co-WCC Player of the Year, batting a clean .349, good for fifth in the league. 4th in the league. Yes, that is correct.
4th on the team.
4th on the team, but, you know, I don't know how often Rhett McCafferty's batting. As Keischel hits a high fly ball in the right. Lost it as the right fielder Gump, and it's going to fall. Luckily, foul territory.
Yeah, I don't know if he lost it in the light tower or what. I was about to say for Keischel, he's not a guy that strikes out often. Just 1 on the year so far in 63 at-bats. And so Catlett might need to find another way to get him out here. As we've seen, he was able to induce the ground ball on Dusty Mercer. And I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same here, knowing that Keishel is not a guy who's going to swing and miss often. Disciplined in the 3-hole for Gaithersburg.
Looking for that second gear against a very tough hitter. There's a ball outside, and it's 1-1.
And again, good location there. Maybe trying to get Keishel to chase, and Keishel showing off that eye that we were just talking about.
So Brady Gump lost it in the lights, but almost retired the inning.
Yeah, and even losing it, he was a step in front of it. Had no idea where it was coming down.
Keishel
Man, smoked.
powers one down the right field line, but foul.
Straight back to that same white car.
Yeah, they don't give you a WCC Rookie of the Year for nothing.
Yeah.
You got to be doing something right, and he was
I'm
phenomenal.
gonna be interested to see what Catlett goes to here with a 1-2 count. You've got room to work in the count, and you've got a guy that can be pretty dangerous here. So how do you attack him? Where
Says
do you
his
go?
favorite player in the league is Joe Kelly, or a player he would love to strike out for $1 million is Joe Kelly. Good pick. Breaking ball low. Catlett thought that was the third strike, and he angrily receives the ball back and heads back to the mound.
As we said, 6'7", 220. We'll celebrate his birthday in just over a week here, mid-July.
2-2 here. 2 down. Fouled right back into the screen. Got jammed a bit on that one. Not much he could have done. That was up at his face. So if the bullpen game holds correctly, we will see Matt Howitt for the next inning and hear the song we've chosen for him to warm up to. Because he does not have an entrance song. We'll see Ryan Metz for the ninth, a guy that's been pretty good this year, but we'll get to that when he comes in. Catlett, just nearly got Keishel got a good job to fight that off.
Yeah, and Keishel, clearly a little bit uncomfortable. Like you said, clearly a little bit off balance, fighting them off here in the 2-2 count. And so Catlett's just got to keep the pedal to the metal here. Keep being aggressive, keep going after
Ben,
the very tough batter to retire, Luke Keishel.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would be uncomfortable against a 6'7" lefty in the batter's box as a righty.
That's a bold take, Tyler.
2-2.
It's a bold thing of you to admit.
Bounce to third. Pepe gets it, fires to second for the force, and the side is retired. So Catlett works around a one-out single, and we head to the bottom of the seventh. It's time to stretch here on Big Charlie Blackman takes the plate for the big train. Of course,
Wait a second.
it's Brady Gump, but Charlie Blackman uses the same at-bat music. I'm going to see him in August. Outside ball one to go.
Well, who knows?
He might be traded. I can't see them trading Blackman though. I feel like he's a career Rocky.
Story might be on the move.
Story, maybe Herman Marquez. I'd like Marquez to stay. I might get his jersey if I go there. I'd have to.
Hey, maybe it'll just be on clearance.
Yeah, true. I don't know who to get. Ryan McMahon, somebody like that. If McMahon's still on the team and he's the only one of note, I'd
Who
probably
knows? Maybe they'll have an Arenado one on clearance.
I'm not getting a purple Arenado one after he is clearly on the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-0. Now from new pitcher Vander Roos, and that's sent deep to right field. Back on the warning track at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch. Oh, what a play by the right fielder. Dusty Mercer robbed a sure, at least an extra base hit from Brady Gump. The best ball that's been put in play all night for the big train, and it's allowed out number 1.
EFO for Brady Gump, and it's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, that's EFO in every sense of the word. Score that as an EFO in your scorebook. Shout out Al Gallo.
Right between Roberto Clemente and Hugh Adams' numbers out there in right field in the corner. I thought for sure that one was into the night.
A long way to track that ball. So, allowed out number 1 for Hayden Vander Roost, and now Christian Martin, who has a single today, one of the few hits the big train do have. Fans get restless once again. Here's the first pitch. Martin takes way outside, and it's ball 1.
But
Ben?
man, Gump is on a tear.
Gump is on fire. He doesn't have any hits tonight. He's had some loud outs.
He has been stroking the ball.
Here's the pitch to Martin. Fouls it off into the screen, and it's 2-1. Needless to say, I mean, Brady Gump has been one of the carriers over the offense of the last couple of weeks. Big home run against South County, or big home run against D.C., couple of hits against South County. You know how it is. 2-1 now to Martin. Inside, he does a Puig shuffle out of the way.
Just a bit inside. 3-1.
3-1 now. Good hitters count for Christian Martin. We haven't seen any power from Martin. He's given a couple of balls a deep ride, but the Virginia Tech commit's got to have something in the tank.
Had a double the other night in South County.
Slugging a bit low. Outside ball 4, and he's aboard with 1 out.
He'll take that instead, though.
A big EFO from Brady Gump, though.
Gump really, again, has been seeing the ball quite well the last week or so.
Yes, he's been just on fire for this team. And here's Riley Johnson. Comes up once again to Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett, as we have chosen for him today.
Second hit of the night for the big train. 1 for 3.
Love another
Caught
one
up
here.
in a fielder's choice to end the 5th inning after reaching.
Ball hit well into the gap. Could make this a 4-run game. Martin does have speed to burn. That's way outside. Vander Roos has had a shaky season. He's had an up-and-down season, that's for sure. We've been told that there's some nights he looks like the best pitcher in the world and some nights where he just doesn't have it. But he pours a strike in there, and it's 1-1.
8 appearances for Vander Roos, 13 and a third innings, a 5.40 ERA, 12 hits, 16 runs, just 8 of them earned. 10 walks and 19 strikeouts. So as you said, a 1-1 record, no saves. That's
Allowed
some
6 runs and 1 earned against the big train earlier on this year.
Yeah, and as you said, if you look at all of his appearances, save that first one on opening night, a spoiled birthday for him in 2 innings, 2/3 of an inning worked, 6 runs, 1 earned, as you said, just 1 hit, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, and 8 batters faced.
Is that somebody else's birthday? I forget.
Can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But, I mean, besides that, he's had some pretty good outings. Went 3 and a loss to the Aces back on June 20th. 2 runs, 2 hits.
Has blooped over shallow. Short coming on as a left fielder and sliding. And making a great catch again is Cam Hyder. And they've just been snake bitten tonight. Are the big train. F7. Put an exclamation point next to that one. 2 exclamation points in an inning. Doesn't happen too often, but. So here's Darius Foster looking to put something in play.
Keep
that
the inning alive.
reaches the field. Just 2 hits for the Big Train tonight. Utterly silenced after their 19-run outburst in South County 2 nights ago.
Yeah, maybe they left the bats down there.
Sometimes that happens.
Slipped away in the rain.
Somehow I manage. Michael Scott. 2 outs. Check on the runner at first. He's not going anywhere. Foster lays down the bunt. It's a good one.
Oh,
he might beat it
perfect.
out. The bare hand play to first is in time. The fans are not happy with that one as Foster nearly beat out that, but great bare hand play by the third baseman Luke Keischel, and a defensive outburst this inning leaves it a 5-0 game. Matt Howitt, the new pitcher on the mound, enters to welcome to the jungle, and he faces off against Dom Ragazzo. Ragazzo has had one heck of a night, but in 2 different ways. It's been a tale of 2 nights for Ragazzo.
In
He's
one
got
night.
a couple of hits. He attacks one and sends it way up there and foul. Is that Matt Howard or is that Eric Gagne on the mound? I don't know. Gagne wasn't a lefty, though.
And I don't think Howitt wears sport goggles.
That would be cool, though. Always appreciate the sport goggle guys. Of course, Brock Guffey did. Luke Baker does. We saw the starter wear that today. Ragazzo.
2 starts in a row we've seen with sport goggles.
Right. Brock Guffey had a great start the other day in South County. Settling into a very nice evening here at Povich Field, but the Big Train bats have not been nice tonight. Just 2 hits to their name. A couple of base runners. Ragazzo hammers one way up there, but that's easy for Foster. Makes the play. 1 down.
And Howitt on the year, 5 games, all in relief. 1.5 ERA for him on the year, 12 innings of work, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts, and a 1-0 record out of the College of William and Mary.
He has been the guy in the 8th inning this year. After he looked like he just couldn't get an out in exhibition, he has come out this season and pitched phenomenally. So he takes a strike there, Michael Morale. And we've been very dissective of his delivery, of his motion, and he's just good. I mean, there's nothing else you can really say. I mean, this season at William & Mary, a 4.2 ERA. You know, Matt Howitt, one of the more reliable arms out of this bullpen this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about his delivery. I think it's really become one of my favorites on the team, as we talked about. Slow and steady through the steps, through the beginning of the windup, and then once he gets that leg up a little bit, he rifles, slingshots that left arm across, hides his delivery angle, hides his release point from the batter until the last possible second. And we've seen how effective it can be for him.
Right, and he has that sort of hunchy shrug thing like Mark Melanson would do, but he doesn't throw it way back like Melanson does.
Has an interesting way of shaking off Nip for the signs as well. A little head cock.
Grounded right through the wickets and into center field of Matt Howitt, and there's a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, that's a tough play for everybody involved. Right through the legs of Howitt, up the front of the bump. He has had a pretty short glove as well, but that is a really hard play to make. An even harder play for Gauthier or Martin at short and second, respectively, to come over in time to stop that thing from getting to the outfield grass.
The old sticky wicket there for Matt Howitt. Would love another ground ball here right to a fielder, though. Michael Bouma has grounded out once tonight, but he's also struck out and walked. He is 0 for 2. 5-0, 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Big Train been utterly silenced, but Vanderus gave up some loud contact. We'll see if he pitches multiple innings tonight. The 5-run lead. It's outside, and it's 2-0 from Howitt.
Jack Slade, another guy we've seen before, was up and tossing a little bit in the Gaithersburg pen. Just trying to keep warm.
As it stands, the Big Train would lose a game on the Giants, then the Giants would be 4 games out of first. Strike. Good pitch there from Howard. It's 2-1. 2 innings left, and the hardest 6 outs in this game are coming up, though.
Yeah, especially for a team in a batting order with this much power. Stashed, maybe, perhaps.
Right, and Thomas, Pepe, and Nearai do up. Exactly who you want up in the 8th. Strike. Good pitch from Howitt.
Like you said, if there's any place to start something for the Big Train offensively, it's with those 3.
You need a bloop and a blast and a bloop and a blast and a blast, and then the game's tied.
I think that's how math works.
2-2. With 1 out, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, good pitch from Howitt, but it's low. Ball 3. Count runs full here on Michael Bouma, down to number 37. That's a good number. Bouma playing tonight 0 for 2. He has a walk, though. In a 3-ball count here. Fouls it back in the screen. Tomahawks it, and it's still 3-2. Wearing the first baseman's mitt tonight. Well, he's got a runner on first base to deal with. Three and 2. Full count offering. Payoff pitch. In there. Strike 3 called. Gets Bouma looking, and there's 2 down. Maybe a generous strike 3 call, but I'm sure Matt Howitt will take that. So here's the designated hitter, Jack Ryan. No, not John Krasinski, guys. Jack Ryan.
Tripped yourself up a little bit there.
That's all I'll say there is
pitch.
great. Painting the inside corner.
Yeah,
of
and
Matt Howitt.
that's really the advantage you get from that arm angle. That ball starts maybe a ball or 2 outside of the plate and works back to the perfect spot on the inside edge for strike 1.
0-1 from Howitt to Ryan. Here's the pitch. Ooh. Central air, the big fan, as he swings through that one.
And then he goes right back to the same location, but mixes up the speed. And is able to keep Ryan really on his toes now, deeply in the 0-2 hole.
Cam Hyder would be next, who's flown out 3 times tonight. Sets up outside, and it's 1-2. Good setup pitch from Matt Howitt.
Yeah.
Trying to expand the strike zone a little bit with 2 strikes, see if he gets Jack Ryan flailing, and then he'll come back in with some hard stuff, maybe spin a breaker in there. Who knows what he's doing?
And for Howitt, he works the 2-4 fastballs, the slider, and the curve.
Breaking ball in there, strike 3 called. A pretty perfect inning there for Matt Howitt. He does allow the hit, but that's all as the Big Train have the meat of the order coming up. And a new third baseman, it looks like, for the Giants as Dylan Wilkinson will come in. We'll have that for you when we come back. Matt Thomas leads off against Hayden Vanderus in his second inning of work. Gave up a loud 3 outs in that inning. Of course, Dylan Wilkinson takes over at third base. Luke Keeschel moves to second. Ryan Martinez out of the game. First pitch now from Vanderus. It's up high, ball 1. Thomas looking to get things going a little bit here. He had a big night in terms of the OBP category in South County 2 nights ago. Walked 4 times.
So loud contact in the last half inning for Vanderus. Some control issues. We'll see if this is the spot where the Big Train
Thomas hammers one to left field. Going back is Hyder on the warning track. It's gone. Goodbye. There's your first run of the game. Matt Thomas gets on the board with a big fly, and the Big Train are 4 runs closer. It's 5-1.
Yeah, so maybe he can take advantage.
Yeah, I think so. A big swing there from Matt Thomas. Much needed home run for him. And the Big Train are finally on the board. Sends it careening through the Big Train night.
Little bit of a hanging off speed there from Vanderus, and Thomas was all over that one. A big fly into the Bethesda night. Number 5 on the season.
And here's Rocco Pepe, who could follow suit into the deep night, as my colleague Ben Bobeck would say. That one was crushed. Right over that little notch, right by the extended fence in left center. Up and into Pepe, who has had to dance out of a way of his fair share of balls this year. Matt Thomas, the big fly.
19 RBIs on the season now for him.
And Vanderoost just looking to settle in here, but Thomas not making that good for him. He's 4 loud outs.
And I think that's his first home run here at Povich.
It has to be. I think you're right, or it's one of 2. He's got 5 on the year, and I think 3 or 4 of them are on the road. But yes, finally giving the home fans something to cheer about. Big Train alumnus. No, he's still on the team. Big Train returnee sends one right into that little alcove right there. Pepe laces one up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Fires first in time for the first out.
Yeah, good play there by Keeschel, moving over from third to second base, backhanding that one and getting the throw over to Booma in time to get Pepe.
So here's Danny Nearai coming into the game.
But again, I think that's just something the Big Train dugout needed, was that very loud third hit of the game for Bethesda. Just get a little more juice in the dugout. It can be really flat. It can be really hard to hang 7 consecutive zeros.
Oh, right.
And then try to continue to go out there and attack. So getting that first one has to feel good and has to put them in a position where they feel a little bit better about getting back into the box now.
There will be no shutout tonight, sir. I'm sure someone said somewhere.
Not so fast.
Not
says
so
Matt
fast,
Thomas.
says Matt Thomas, as Nearai takes one outside 2-0. It's a good hitter's count for Nearai, who we've seen attack a pitch. Actually, we saw him attack one in Gaithersburg.
His first of the season.
First and only of the season. 2-0 now. Nearai been held in check in the home run category since then. Takes one up in the hands, but it's a strike, and it's 2-1. Let's get back
Nearai,
to that.
321 on the year. 8th game. Little call and response action going on.
I think Bruce Adams started that. Nearai pops, skips, and jumps one over to first base, but foul.
Somebody's got to get that.
Yeah, I think someone trotting out from the bullpen to get that ball.
Took them a second.
Danny Nearai, Florida native, Notre Dame student.
Trying to send one far eye.
That was bad. But I appreciate the effort, though. And I do respect it because I probably would have made the same joke. Still 2-2 to Danny Nearai. If he goes yard here, I have to say.
I have no shame. I'm proud of what
I
I
would
said.
hope
I
not.
stand by it.
The grizzled veteran, 4 years on the radio at WPTS.
No regrets. Play like a champion.
Forged here. 2-2. Nearai fouls it again off. He's putting up a good at-bat here.
He's got the strikeout bug a little bit over the last week, but even with that, he's been a very patient batter. He's been able to
Right.
work the count. He's been able to see pitches and let the guys coming up see him and just work that pitching a little bit
Big Train hoping that
as much as he can.
home runs is the start of a lot more. Take it inside and the count runs full. And this has just been a heck of an at-bat from Danny Nearai.
Danny near good eye. Danny good eye.
Danny
That
Nearai.
works.
Inside ball 4, and the Big Train have a one-out base runner for Grant Knipp, who has been utterly robbed tonight on a couple of occasions. Actually, just one. First inning, diving catch by the center fielder, Tyler Martinez. Second walk of the night issued by Hayden Vanderoost, and the second walk of the night for Danny Nearai.
And Vanderoost,
We got a
Jesse
new-
Frawley is going to nip his pitching appearance right there.
We'll have whoever's on the mound for you when we come back here on Big Train TV. First, a word from our sponsors at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Jack Slade takes over on the mound for the Big Train out of for the Giants out of Westchester University. Apparently, he's the greatest pitcher that ever lived, according to our broadcast counterpart.
2 games, 4 innings of work, so short scouting report on him. 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Faced the Big Train a couple weeks ago and pitched a scoreless couple of innings.
Plenty of stuff for him.
Grant Knipp here. Digs in. 1 1/3 innings from Hayden Vanderoost. Emblazoned by that big home run. As Knipp taps one slowly, going to be a tough play to get to, and it's bobbled, and everybody will be safe. So we'll see what they call that. Certainly was tough, and they will get an error on the freshly minted third baseman, Dylan Wilkinson.
How about that for Grant Knipp?
2 reached on errors today.
Back-to-back reaching on an error.
So here's Austin Gauthier, who has struck out and flew out today. Struck out twice. Love one swing of the bat to make this all that closer.
And here's a guy who can do it for sure. As we've talked about plenty tonight.
Gauthier can swing. He can swing it. Now, we're not in South County anymore, his old haunts. He did homer there way back when, and his number is retired on the outfield wall. But back home, Gauthier has not homered yet, or just homered once here at home. He's homered I think he homered in D.C. too, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the road ballparks that's not Lorton. I think it was Gaithersburg.
I think it was Silver Spring.
Or Silver Spring, yeah. Gauthier had a very nice season for this team. 1-0 now from Slade, the self-proclaimed best pitcher in the bullpen by the self that sits right from us.
242 average, 16 games, 62 at-bats, 17 runs, 15 hits, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs, 14 walks drawn.
Outside ball 2, 2-0. And if you load the bases here, you get Brady Gump, who was just on a torrid stretch.
2 for 3, stealing the bag as well.
Sets up the tying run to the dish. Slade, I don't know what he's jiggling his arm a little bit.
I think he's asking for new signs. That's generally what that is, shaking him off.
2-0 to Austin Gauthier. Called time, no pitch.
A balk, I think.
A balk is called, and the runners move up a base.
So Slade, I was actually just going to talk about his motion a little bit. He's a little shaky on that front foot. It's interesting to see whether or not he's going to get dinged again because he keeps that foot moving, gets it set for maybe half a second, and then goes into that long leg kick. Goes high, then it goes out, and then he comes home.
Manicuring the mound out there. I wonder if they'll pitch around Gauthier here with a base open and 2 runners on, but also got to attack here with 2 runners in scoring position. The ball.
So he taps that front foot, keeps it a little forward, then comes set, then kicks, and you can see on that last one as it's 3-0. You can see on that last one that after he was tapping that front foot, I just don't think he had it set in time before he started that kick.
And it really can just be anything. You can sneeze, you can fidget a little bit, and it's a balk. Seen some of the craziest balks. I think Bruce Adams starting another chant out there.
Doing his best to rally the train.
3-0 now to Gauthier. Here's the pitch from Slade. Ball 4 in the dirt, and the bases are loaded for man on fire, Brady Gump. Crazy train plays in the stands. One swing of the bat could tie this game. And the man you want up in the situation who hit a clutch home run against DC is Brady Gump.
Yeah, Gump on the year up to a 400 average in 16 games, 40 at-bats, 16 hits, 11 runs. Now 2 home runs, no doubles, but a triple, 11 RBIs and 11 walks drawn. Struck out just 7 times.
Triple here. Fakes first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Christian Martin would be next, who's reached base twice.
But Gump's also a guy who, while he certainly has the power to tie the game, he's also a guy who's going to remain focused, who's going to be able to keep that concentration and know that one swing of the bat here could tie the game, but it could also just keep the line moving, keep the batting order churning, and make this game a heck of a lot more reachable for the Big Train in the last 2 innings of this one.
Good frame attempt there by the catcher, Morale, but 1-1.
Coach's son, his mom the head softball coach up at Notre Dame, his dad former assistant for the Irish as well. A lot of Notre Dame connections here up and down this roster.
Fanning like he was going home. Gump fouls it back into the screen. It's 1-2.
Yeah, reaching on that one a little bit. Maybe thinking fastball, got the off speed, is instead able to get around enough on it to just tip it off the end of the bat. Stay alive here.
Got to keep chipping away here. If you can get 2 more runs in, I think you'd view this as a success and then come in with the 3 hardest out to get down 2. But they would also love one swing of the bat to tie the game on a grand salami. Get out the mustard and rye bed grandma. Waiting for that. Way outside, and it's 2-2.
Good slide there from Morale.
Yeah, way to hold that off. Near-Eye was coming home. Regardless, I mean, he danced down the third base line. If he walks 2 in a row, Near-Eye, who's practically home already, would be the second run of this game. Fans on their feet here at Povich Field. The 2-2 offering from Slade, a long hold. Brings the glove up to his face, sets and delivers. Outside, ball 3. Nowhere to put Brady Gump here with the bases loaded. And if he walks in a run, Christian Martin would stand as the lead run with one swing of the bat. Brady Gump, things are very quiet despite the amount of cheers that we've heard over the last couple of minutes here at Povich Field.
Expect they'll pick back up any second now.
Oh, yeah.
Gump steps back in the box.
3-2. Here's the pitch from Slade. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gump down swinging. And a big out number 2 for Jack Slade.
Yeah, again, just a little bit ahead of that one. Slade sent him the off-speed, looking for the cheese. And Gump just couldn't hold up in time to protect that time.
So here's Christian
I think
Martin.
We'll get a pinch
Nolan
hitter.
Shanuel will pinch hit, and that's a guy you want up. Shanuel in a pinch hit experience here will come in and probably play first base and then have somebody move to. I'm not sure how they'll move. I think Shanuel can play second, though, if I'm not mistaken.
He's
They'll
listed as an infielder.
Move Matt Thomas second. That one bounces in there. Shanuel, this is a good guy you want up in this situation. Guy that could stroke a double and make this a 5-4 game.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the flexibility all up and down this roster for Shanuel. Another one of those guys up there with 18 RBIs, 2 home runs as well. 16 hits, 9 runs scored, and that very tall batting stance.
Shanuel hits one about 4 feet in front of the plate, and the easy play to first is thrown on. The big train load the bases but get 1 run on the home run by Matt Thomas. They still trail by 4 heading to the top of the 9th, and Ryan Metz to the mound here on Big Train TV.
Top of the 9th inning now here on Big Train TV. Leading off is Cam Hyder, and the new pitcher is Ryan Metz, who enters in the midst of a very lengthy streak. Since 2019, he's thrown 17 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings as a member of the Bethesda Big Train. And he faces the bottom of the order coming up here, and that's just phenomenal. This season, he's pitched, I think it's 9 2/3 scoreless innings, and then his last 8 innings of 2019 were all scoreless.
5 hits, as you said, no runs allowed. 12 strikeouts, just 2 walks. 3-0 record for Ryan Metz.
So here's Cam Hyder to lead off against him. Metz has been pretty good this year, to say the least. Trying to lay down a bunt, get something started against him, but strike pops in there, and it's 0-1. Metz did the de facto closer for this ball club.
Just so meticulous in his delivery, meticulous in his approach, meticulous in his warm-up.
Meticulous. As Hyder fouls it off.
He's really one of those guys who embodies that late inning reliever mentality of they're fun. You know, they're enjoyable off the field. Great guy to talk to, always fun to catch up with.
Right.
But once he's, getting in the mindset, once he's starting to warm up in the bullpen, that's it. He's locked down. He's ready to go. He's focused on what he's got to go out there and do.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Hyder. There's that nasty stuff from Ryan Metz, and that's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Giants hitters. And that'll bring up the defensive replacement, Dylan Wilkinson.
Yeah, the 3 most reliable pitches for Metz: changeup, cutter, and the 4-seam fastball. I think that was the cutter we just saw as the strikeout pitch on Hyder. He's working a curveball a little bit there as he pours in another strike.
Zips it. 5-1 the score. Big Train looking for a spark. Here's the pitch. Outside, missed a bit, and it's 1-1. Things are silent here at Povich Field. Giants have not scored since the 5th inning, but that's held up. Metz calls time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the interesting things about Metz compared to some of the other pitchers. He has those hands set low at the belt while he's taking the signs, then brings them up to the face once he's got it.
It's inside, ball 2, 2-1 now.
As you saw there, a long stare in at Nip, trying to sort things out.
You can hear the frogs chirping here at Cabin John Regional Park. Wilkinson takes the ball, and it's 3-1. 3-1 offering from Metz. Don't see him get to 3-ball counts too often. Here's the pitch. Wilkinson attacks and sends it down the left field line. Long run for Foster. He will not get there as it runs into foul territory as he collides with the jutting out left field wall. And the count runs full.
Yeah, a quick chat here with Nip and Metz. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there on the previous couple of pitches. You saw, like we said, a long look in for Metz to get the sign, so just double-checking all those.
Metz pitched
3-2.
Coming into this 17 2/3 scoreless innings dating back to 2019 as a member of the Big Train. He's got 1/3 tonight. It's up to 18 now. His number. Here's the 3-2. Again, hit towards the same spot, but no play on that for Foster this time. And it's still 3-2. And now they have the count right on the scoreboard, so it doesn't matter.
Catches up eventually, doesn't it?
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. Wilkinson, another guy rocking the barehanded batting gloves.
3-2 now. Metz, the payoff offering. Tacks it, sends it towards foul territory. Long run for Pepe, coming over, and he can't get it. And they should just play a guy in foul territory right there because that's 3 consecutive balls hit to the exact same spot.
Yeah, both Foster and Foster really playing still pretty far towards left center. I wonder if he'll shade a little bit more to the line when he gets back.
Things are really
to his
cold
spot.
now at Povich Field. 66 degrees by the scoreboard's count. Not sure what the official temp is.
I have it still as A little bit warmer than that.
Very cool summer night. One of my favorite. I mean,
Near
I could
the-
live in this weather all year long, but 3-2 now. Swing and a miss, strike three, and Metz, 2 consecutive strikeouts, puts away Wilkinson after a lengthy battle, and that'll bring up Mercer.
Yeah, and that's the dedication of Ryan Metz. Talked about his approach to the game. Lets Wilkinson hang around, works the 3-ball count, a couple foul offs down to the left field line, but then comes at him right with the perfect changeup to get the swing and a miss.
So Metz ready to go here against Dusty Mercer.
By the way, I've still got 71.
Well, it's a chilly 71 as Mercer steps out.
Yeah, nice breeze coming in.
Trade winds coming through town.
Not quite trade winds.
Rarefied air. Ryan Metz is in rarefied air right now. 1-0. Four consecutive strikeouts for Big Train pitching, 2 for Metz. He pops one outside, and it's 2-0. Been a very low offensive night for the Big Train. If the score stands, it would be their lowest run total and lowest hit total all season long. We routinely see them get up and above 5 hits this year, but just 3. Metz delivers, fouled way out there, into the trees, into the bullpen area, onto the tennis courts, 2-1. Big strike to get. Tyler Martinez stands on deck. Here's the pitch. Outside, 3-1.
So back-to-back 3-ball counts here from Metz. See what he goes to in the 3-1 hitters count. Maybe that cutter on the inside. Don't want to hang anything. Gives Nip the nod.
Here's the pitch from Metz, the 3-1 offering. Outside, ball 4. So Mercer is aboard with 2 outs, and Tyler Martinez comes up with a runner on.
Yeah, Mercer has had a very nice on-base percentage day. Reached base all 5 at bat, all 5 plate appearances, so to say, and has worked 3 walks, 2 singles, 2 for 2 on the day.
We've seen Metz have flourishing outings this year. There was one where he struck out 5 of 6 batters. I'm trying to find that. Looped in the air, shallow center. Back on it is the center fielder Johnson. He makes the catch to retire the side. Big Train need 4, need 5 to win. They come up here in the bottom of the 9th for last licks when we come back here on Big Train TV. Lefty Peyton Weinbarger takes over. He's on for the final 3 outs. And the top of the order for the big train, due up. We've seen some heroics, late inning heroics from the big train over the last couple of weeks. Looking to do more of the same here, but first they got to get base runners on against a very tough lefty in Peyton Weinbarger. First pitch from Johnson, up high, ball 1.
For the big train so far,
Weinbarger, a sparkling .93 ERA in 9 2/3 innings this year.
despite having just 3 hits and 1 run, they've left 10 runners on base.
Growing trend for this team. Strike, 1-1.
Outside.
Ben voicing his displeasure. Not as good as when we were in D.C. yelling at Jesse Barron, shining a laser pointer. It was, we've been informed that it was Everett Catlett. Allegedly, but I think it was Jesse Barron. And then Jesse Barron was hit in the nether region. Johnson comes up empty on a swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Big Train just need base runners here. Johnson, Foster, and Thomas due up. Thomas homered his last time up. Foster 0 for 3 with a couple of questionable calls on his ledger. Nearly beat out a single that changed the tide of the inning, but instead was called out. 1-2 now from Weinbarger. Come set and the delivery. Johnson fouls it off.
Weinbarger on the year has been really dependable at the back end of this Gaithersburg bullpen. 5 games, all in relief, 9 2/3 innings of work. 4 hits, just 2 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, 14 strikeouts, a 1-0 record, 2 saves, and a .93 earned run average.
391 fans here at the ballpark tonight just looking for something to cheer for. 1-2 now to Johnson. Once again, here's the pitch. Breaking ball in there, strike 3 call. Johnson rung up for the first out. And here's Darius Foster. Foster can get aboard. He'd be on for Matt Thomas. And in the lineup that has just had no answer for the pitching that the Gaithersburg Giants have thrown out tonight. And if the Giants win, they'd be 4 games out of first. 17-4 the big train would fall to. Giants would be 12-7. First pitch now. Foster takes a strike that cracks in there, and it's strike 1.
A lot of pop on that one.
Wilkinson a bit in from his third base position, hoping for the bunt from Darius Foster. If he can bunt it down the first base line, though, first baseman Michael Booma playing back a little bit. 0-1 now. Foster dances out of the way of that one, and it's 0-1. If he gets aboard, I don't think they're going to be focusing on him at all. So he could run pretty much amok on the base pass. Things are very eerily silent here at Povich Field. You would think it'd be loud here in the 9th inning. A very restless crowd initially, but now they're resting, I guess.
Just
1-1.
looking for something.
Foster takes one inside, 2-1. Thomas would come up as the third run of this game if he could get aboard. Ben, I'm sorry to step on you once again. Here you go.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, as you were saying before, it can be almost relaxing as a hitter because you know that if you get on in this situation, like you said, they're not going to be throwing down much on you.
Yeah, his run doesn't matter. It's if they string together a couple of hits here. Foster comes up empty again, and it's 2-2.
That didn't sound like an off-speed pitch. But it sure looked like one.
Yeah.
The way Foster swung through it.
Well, Weinbarger has been almost untouchable this year. Virtually perfect. .93 ERA. No bugaboos on the season yet. 2-2 now. With 1 out in the 9th. Here's the pitch. Foster fouls it off. Choked up on that bat. His at-bat will continue. 9:45. Very quick game tonight. Just
Not
over
done yet.
2 hours and 45 minutes. Foster is hoping he can put something on the ground here as Wilkinson now back behind third base.
way back
Takes
on the
one
dirt.
outside, 3-2, and the count runs full to one of the best on-base men in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the infield really for Gaithersburg all the way deep. Booma pretty much a step or two left of the bag from our broadcast booth, but maybe a step or two in from the dirt. Same spot for Wilkinson at third base, and Ragazzo and Kishel are toes on the dirt, heels on the grass.
Strikeout looking of Riley Johnson to lead off the inning. Foster bounces one towards second. Going to be a tough play. Fires first in time. And the big trainer down to their final out.
Yeah, and there you see the benefit of having Kishel all the way back. Plenty of time for him to range over and scoop that one up. Toss it over for the second out of this one.
So here's Matt Thomas, who hit a towering home run his last time up. Just needs to get on here to continue it for Rocco Pepe. As it stands, big train down to their final out. But Peyton Weinbarger is a tough nut to crack.
Not technically a save situation, but sure feels like one.
It always is a safe situation when you enter with a lead against the big train. Here's the pitch. Low, skips in there, and it's 1-0. Big train, keep it as is. Their 1-run, 3-hit total will be their lowest of the entire season.
Yeah, not the output they were looking for coming into tonight. But again, still one out here to change that.
Sometimes when you score 19 runs, that can happen. That's inside ball 2.
Sometimes you get silenced the next night. But also Kemp Alderman unavailable tonight as he pitched earlier. Big Train had last night's game wiped out due to rain. They'll replay that at some point this year. Foster right back to Weinbarger, and that should do it. He fires to first in time, and the ball game is over. So the Big Train are utterly silenced by the Gaithersburg Giants pitching, and they fall 5-1. They put up 3 hits and drop it here. Their 4th loss of the season. The Big Train moved to 17-4.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that silence pretty much sums it up. 1 run, 3 hits. They managed to get plenty of base runners aboard. Were able to work them over. As we said, coming into this inning, 10 runners left on base. They couldn't get any more in the bottom of the 9th. 1-3, 1-10. Disappointing line score offensively, but a chance to come back here at home versus Silver Spring Tacoma.
Absolutely, and stay tuned for a couple moments as we situate ourselves here. Get ready for Big Train postgame on your Big Train TV. The second loss at home for the Big Trains. They moved to 9-2 at home. They are 17-4 overall, and they'll host Silver Spring Tacoma tomorrow night for their final game before the 4th of July break. We'll see you for that when we come back here on Big Train TV.
And good evening to you for one final time here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth tonight. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here for Big Train TV. And Tyler, a disappointing night for the Big Train. They fall by a Bethesda Magazine final score of 5-1. 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors, 4 runners left on base for the victorious visiting Gaithersburg Giants. For the Bethesda Big Train, 1 run, just the solo shot by Matt Thomas, 3 hits, 1 error, and as we said, a massive 10 runners left on base. Your biggest takeaway from this one as we wrap things up and do our final adjudication of tonight's game?
Well, they would get the runners on, but they couldn't get them in. They had plenty of chances to get runs in, but they were also plagued by a poor umpiring tonight, which really led to them losing some chances to actually get these runners in. I'm not saying it was the whole game, but there were some moments where if they had got a runner on or maybe walked, or if Foster beat out that single, maybe the inning continues and they get that big inning that they've been looking for. But unfortunately tonight it didn't come. They held to their lowest run total and lowest hit total of the season.
Yeah, your biggest question mark from this one going into tomorrow night's game here at Povich Field versus Silver Spring Tacoma.
I hope the Bats can show up tomorrow night, because that's a team that you absolutely cannot lose to, one of the lower teams in the league, a team that you absolutely need to fatten up against, especially going into the 2-day break.
And for me, I think one of the positives, you're looking for the silver lining in an overall disappointing night. But, the bullpen pitched pretty well. I mean, 5 runs is going to be questioned a little bit. But, again, when your bats only produce 3 hits, 1 run, you can understand a little bit. How would you assess the bullpen's performance tonight on a plenty of arms sort of night for Sal Colangelo and this Big Train team?
Well, we know how solid the bullpen is to begin with, and that was shown tonight. But it's those back end of the bullpen guys, not the back half, the back end, the guys that don't get into often, like Kemp Alderman, where we saw just struggle tonight. Got a bit unlucky as well, but so did Noah Carbajal on the mound. So those are the 2 guys that I'm looking at, and those were the only runs of the game. And then, Matt Thomas got that big home run that we thought everything was going to come back in, but the wind was just utterly taken out of the sails tonight. A big loss for the Big Train. Even though they still sit 4 games up on first, so it's not too big of a loss for them, but it just certainly feels like that.
As you said, 4 games ahead of Gaithersburg. Atop the standings, they fall to 17-4. Gaithersburg moves up to 12-7. Jonathan Martinez with 5 very strong innings, 4 of them no hit, moves to 2-0 on the season. Kemp Alderman gets the loss. He drops to 0-1. Is there a standout performer from either side you'd like to highlight before we get out of here on this very nice Friday night for baseball?
Yeah, offensively for the Giants, it's got to be Dominic Regazzo. 2 hits, 3 RBI, really was a thorn in the side once again of Big Train pitching. Shows why he is another Big Train killer that we've determined this season for the Big Train. But honestly, it was a night where the offense was the biggest culprit in this game. They couldn't get any runs across. They couldn't string hits together. They strung hits together in that 1 inning and they couldn't get any in. And when that happens, it's just utterly lifeless and it's going to take the wind out of the sails. And we saw that tonight.
I'm going to go with 2, okay? I'm going to go with, first of all, the guy who took Regazzo's spot at the leadoff spot in the lineup. Of course, Regazzo moving down to the 4-hole where he was effective, as you said. But the right fielder, Dusty Mercer, first of all, he had that great play defensively to rob Brady Gump. But as we said, he also reached base in all 5 of his plate appearances, 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 3 walks, and 2 runs scored. Really drove that Gaithersburg offense to this 5-1 victory tonight. And on the other side, we go the back half of the Big Train bullpen. Braley, Catlett, Howitt, and Metz from the 6th inning on were stellar, did what they needed to do to at least keep the Big Train offense in the game when it seemed like they were floundering a little bit.
And you definitely have a 7, 8, 9 punch in Catlett, Howitt, and Metz if you really want to go that way. We know Howitt and Metz are always going to be the 8, 9 guys in every situation, barring consecutive blowouts, but really it just shows how good the bullpen is for this Big Train team. Yeah, it got exposed a little bit in the middle innings, but when you string runs together, you string hits together, good things will happen, and the Big Train unable to do that tonight.
Absolutely. Final thoughts on this one before we move on to Silver Spring Tacoma coming to town tomorrow night.
Hoping to strike down the T-Bolts tomorrow night. Fortunately tonight the Giants were Giants tonight. They might be Giants, they are Giants in this situation. Istanbul is Constantinople, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely. One more time, the final score presented by Bethesda Magazine. Gaithersburg 5, the Big Train 1. For Tyler Gallo, I've been Ben Bobek. Thanks for tuning in here on Big Train TV. As he said, we'll see you tomorrow night as Silver Spring Tacoma looks to strike here at Povich Field. Thanks for tuning in.